A little bit behind, family. I'm a little bit behind. Come on into the room. Come on into the room. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link because this is an open panel discussion. It's an open panel discussion. I want to get started as soon as possible, so I'm going to go ahead and drop the link. If you guys saw the Katt Williams interview, I want to know what you guys think of it. Joe Will, peace to you. What's up with you? Monica's World. So I'm ready for this. I watched the interview 3 times already. Wow. Wow. Deep interview. Deep interview, family. Again, peace to you, Joe Will. Peace to you, Nina. I speak to you guys as you come in. Hit that like button, please. Open book. Welcome in. You're definitely welcome up. If you saw the interview and want to give your thoughts on it, it's an open panel discussion. The link has already been dropped. Jackie Hudson. Good evening, Queen. Ty. Hello. How you doing? It was really good, Stephanie said. Okay. What's up, Stephanie? Tony, what's up with you? What up, brother Kev? Miss Jimmy Jim says. Peace to you, sis. Queen Lacey says, Rise family, welcome in, please. Like, share, and subscribe as you enter. Get ready for a great build. Absolutely. Let's do that. Thank you, Queen Lacey. Dwayne Branch, peace. Welcome in. Letitia Jones, peace. Welcome in. That's right, Jimmy Jim. Welcome everybody in the chat. Peace, Break Room 411. Come on up here and holla at me. You are more than welcome to give your thoughts. You're more than welcome to give your thoughts, guys. This is an open panel discussion. I would love to hear what your thoughts are on that interview. Rise to you, Queen Jamie. I see you right there in the chat. Good to see you, my love. Says Miracle Denise says Katt exposed everybody, threw a few strays, left no tables unturned. No lies were told. They tried to paint him as an addict, and he set the record straight. Hey, I cannot disagree. But I want to know your thoughts on it. I want to know your true thoughts on it. I'm not going to share mine until you guys come up here and talk with me and share yours. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. We drop that link again. Drop the link again, family. If anybody want to come up, share your thoughts with me on this build now. One thing I noticed that Katt Williams was very confident in what he was saying. He spoke with such passion, conviction. I didn't sense a lot of lies. I sensed a colorful story. I think he painted the picture a little bit more colorful than what it should have been. I do sense some underlying animosity, but why wouldn't he have that as these men been lying on him? But overall, I want to be able to summarize this thing. Okay. Welcome in, Chatty Cathy. Welcome in. I see y'all in the chat now. Don't play with me and don't come up here and talk to me now. I'm gonna drop the link again. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts. Let's have a great build, man. Let's have a great build. He definitely got everybody talking. I will not deny that. I mean, that video is just going crazy. Yesterday I saw it. It was at 7 million views. An hour later I checked it. It was at 8.9. This morning it was at 14 million. More than doubled. Or doubled. He said he read 3,000 books between 8 and 12. I don't know. I get what he was trying to say, but listen, that's why I said it was a little bit, it was a little bit colorful, okay? But I can't say that I can spot necessarily a lie. But I do want to talk about that, and I want to talk about that with you guys personally. Hopefully you guys will come up and talk with me. Nobody's coming up yet. Dropping the link again. Kevin, I want to hear you break it down. What you mean? I want to break it down with y'all. He has the most views out of all the comedians. That's true. Over 18 million views now. Club Shay Shay making the bank. I can say that much. Club Shay Shay is making the bank. What I wouldn't give. Nah. It's many layers to this interview from what I've seen. A lot was said in jest. While he was being very direct in areas, there were some underlying things that I think we really need to discuss. I'm telling you, I'm beginning to notice a trend, that we've been talking about this too. But Brother Ham, Jared, Nook, that's cool. But don't think just because I'm a man, you got to be a man to come up here. I want your thoughts. You guys are in the world, in the community as we have it. I want to hear you guys' thoughts. If you guys watched it, what did you think of it? Do you think Katt was wrong? Do you think he was clout chasing? Do you think they had an intention for lying? Do you believe that they were trying to blackball him? Do you believe they're actually doing all of these favors for opportunities? What do you guys think about Cedric the Entertainer potentially stealing his jokes? What do you think about what he had to say about Steve Harvey? Things of that nature. Did anybody notice what he called Chris Tucker when he mentioned that Michael Jackson called him Christmas? That's another thing why I say that's a little. I mean, what is he trying to say? Because he said a couple of things that made it sound like that. You know what I mean? So while he is saying that these guys have said his name, I don't know if Chris Tucker has, but hang on. Let's bring Break Room to the stage here. Welcome in, Break Room, Tiff the Gear.
What's happening, bro? What's happening?
Nothing much, man. I'm good. Yeah, I'm just wondering what you guys thought. So I'm sure you watched the show. I'm sure you watched the interview with Katt Williams.
Yeah, I watched 2/3 of it. Mm-hmm. And I actually agree with you. I think Katt gave a lot. Well, last night, me and my husband was like 90% truth, 10% cap. But I actually like the way you put it, that it was truthful. Some parts was just a little, colorful due to his emotions about certain things or whatever. But I really thought Katt was coming from a truthful place. And to be honest, I also think Katt has been kind of saying a lot to us just over the years of his career. I don't think it started with just this interview. I think he's been dropping mad jewels throughout his comedic career.
You're absolutely right. I wouldn't disagree with that at all.
Yeah, and it was quite though it was yeah, it had I can't describe the let's see, the feel of the room, but I can say that it did have some comedic effects in it, because I just wanted to say this. Katt cracked me up when he said, "Look, y'all, I just wanted to get out with my with my backside intact."
Right.
He said, "I just still wanted to be a virgin from the back way when I left."
Yeah, that sounded hilarious. He wanted to be the greatest comedian ever. He want to do it all without being penetrated or having to go down on somebody. I said, damn.
But that's true though. That's real true, because we see the history of things. Hey, is that Chat? Hey, Chatty.
Hey, my Tiff.
How you doing, beautiful?
I'm good, my love. How are you?
I'm doing good. Just came up here to kick it with bro. What's your thoughts, sis? What's your thoughts?
See, why you gotta do me like that? I was trying to just ooch on in, like, you know the way you
I
ooch.
know what I be doing. I know what I be doing.
Yeah, can a sister ooch? You know what I'm saying? What's up, Kev?
Peace, peace. Welcome, man, Chatty. It's great to talk to
Hey,
you.
now. You
Listen,
know what?
I love to hear your thoughts on it. You ladies are very intellectual, and so I'm sure you watched it. To me, I felt like it was multi-layered here. Okay,
Oh yeah.
on one hand, he's saying that these guys have disrespected him on that very platform, and I agree with him. He has every right to straighten it out. And I always say that somebody tell a lie on you, you could tell the whole truth. Why not? They open that can of worms, So I 100% agree with that. You ain't got to pull no punches, but I still saw some underlying things that was outside of just giving us the facts surrounding what supposedly happened. Like, say for instance, example, Steve Harvey. He told us about his man unit. He said it looked like Mr. Potato Head. Now, both of those things are true, but they're not fact. You know what I mean? And they don't really have much to do with Steve Harvey lying on him on that platform. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He is very competitive, as he talked about who gets the most laughs, who tells the most jokes, and some of that to me sounded very funny because I guess I get battle rappers, having passion about their bars being the best, but I don't think I've ever considered comedians being passionate about who can make somebody laugh the most. You see what I'm saying? Like, to me, it was a little silly, I guess. But I mean, maybe it's just because I'm not a comedian, therefore I don't take it that serious. But he's like, I'm getting 16 laughs to your 6. I'm like, y'all think like that? What do you think?
I mean, he had a couple of moments where I was like, "All right, you being petty Betty cat." You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You're getting a little petty there, but honestly, I don't know why I feel like there's more. Like, I don't know. Like, trust me, I watched it a few times, and he gave a lot, but I don't know why I feel like there's more, and he kind of just scratched the surface. I don't know why, but I have a very strong feeling that it's more to this. Like, there was a
Mhm.
reason, and I think that Cat's also very strategic too, with just how he thoughts and things that he wants to say and who he chooses to speak about. So I'm waiting for more, but
Mhm.
I gotta be honest. I feel like I don't know. I feel like we kind of left Cat unprotected for a minute, and as a sister, I feel bad. I feel
I
bad,
agree. I
especially when
agree.
he was telling the story about that comedian Wanda that attempted to go toe to toe with him,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
how her husband, approached him. And I watched a video. I think it was Pink Book Lessons. I couldn't remember it when I was live earlier. She did a video on it and even showed, this woman on camera smiling, laughing even as her husband was running to approach Kat, and a gun was in the situation. It should never be that, and Cat didn't pursue it. He said he didn't press charges, but the world kind of left him unprotected and didn't. No one came up to bat for him. So there was a few moments where I was like, "Damn, I feel like we failed him as a community. It should never be that, where people laugh at you and chalk you up as being just a crazy weird guy." So I feel like his feelings are hurt a little bit. I do. I feel like he felt abandoned, and that's just my opinion.
Understandably so.
Yeah,
Understandably so.
I
The
think he
media
felt
has a way,
abandoned. And
right?
I
The
was
media
just, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just saying the media has a way of spinning the narrative and making us, see people in a different light. You know what I mean? So even when they say that he was on drugs, when he first said that he's never done a drug, the first thing I thought about was the many pictures I've seen of him where he looked run down, where he looked like he wasn't taking care of himself. So it'd be easy to believe that narrative. However, if you consider how often people get lied on and the threats of violence, and especially with the knowledge that he has, the secrets that he knows, I can see how somebody could be overwhelmed with, depression and stressed out to the point of where they're just not taking care of themselves. Also, I think similar things happened with Martin as well when he was running through the streets, butt naked. Um, these people, man, they have nervous breakdowns a lot of times. But I'm going to get into the heart of it because I think there's a part of what he said that I think we should take very, very seriously. That I think most people will look over because we hear these stories told often. But I think I don't think we ever put our attention where it should be, and I'll get into that a little bit later. Um, I'll let you finish what your thought was going to be, Chatty Cathy, and then welcome in. Faith is the abundance.
Hi, Faith. Yeah, it was one thing I noticed. Life Jennings on a Facebook post. This was about couple weeks back, and it's resurfacing now that Katt's interview came out. He
Mhm.
shared a story how he did a concert. It was like his first, concert, and he was really excited about it. And the promoter just decided, hey, not going to pay you. And Katt Williams did. And he said, it was like 10 grand. And he said he doesn't know how much he really, really needed that money, and how it really helped him. And I think stories like this that speak of Katt's character, they were kind of just swept under the rug, and everything else was kind of put on the forefront instead. But there's more gestures like this of him just being kind, and helping a fellow brother out, that the media just chose to not discuss. And had Life Jennings not posted that, a lot of people probably wouldn't have known.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Yes, and like I said, it's multi layered. Faith, welcome in. What's your thoughts, love?
Yeah, thank you so much. Salutations, everybody.
Peace to you.
And it's actually, yes, faith is a substance, but I like abundance too. Thank you.
Okay,
Yes.
sorry about that.
So
It's pretty far away from me.
that's okay. No worries. Yeah, I was wanted to kind of chime in a little bit. I just want to say first off that I am a fan of your platform. I've been following you for about a year now, so I'm kind of like intrigued by you and your wives. So I just wanted to put that out there first.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, welcome
All
in.
right, and
Over to meet you for
thank
the
you.
first time.
Thank you very much. As far as the Katt Williams situation, I've been a fan of his for some time, and I know how he can be perceived in a certain way, but he does a lot of good deeds that goes unnoticed, and I think that's probably for his preference. And
Mhm.
also, I feel like with this situation, with this interview, it's obviously marketing genius to me because I feel like he's been throughout the years. I know there's been some back and forth, and then there's been some feuds between other comedians. But I feel like with this interview and the way it's just taking a life of his own, and it grew so many legs. And I think, doesn't he have a show coming up on Netflix? Does he have
He does. He
coming up?
does.
So marketing genius. So
I think he's about the tour as well, which makes it absolutely genius as well, because more people are going to come out and see him perform now.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And I'm also, I feel like, let me ask you this, because I know that a lot of people are very intrigued by all the things he said about the industry as a whole, and certain people in the industry, celebrities that they may not see it for. But do you think that he told all truths throughout the whole interview? I'm not talking about just the industry part alone, but just overall. Do you think he was truthful the whole time?
I can see where he colored it, but I can't say where I can see where he lied. And that's one of the parts I want to talk about. If what he is saying all the way throughout, that's very scary. To me, I find it very scary, especially if we have young children who want to make it into those industries. That is very scary. The sheer fact that you can do SX to get a position or get a career, to me, is unreal. And I know often when we hear of someone doing these horrific or egregious acts to get ahead, we look at the person who did the act, like we say they sold their soul or they did this disgusting thing to get ahead. I think the focus should be more on who's unzipping their pants here, who's the person who's asking for these S favors, because they should not be, and all of them who are doing it need to be removed, because that's not fair. It's absolutely disgusting. They need to be locked up,
Yes.
because it's if Katt Williams talked about, you remember the part where he said he's outside talking to the homeless people, and they were telling him that, naming the drugs and things that they got addicted to, where their life began to spiral out.
Yes.
And they said they lost their house, their car, and now they're out here, sucking a penis in the woods, right? When I heard that, I'm thinking, damn. And when he said sucking a penis, I said, damn. Then he said in the woods, I said, damn. In the woods. Why? I don't know why they added in the woods. Why the woods
Right.
location? Why the person would even say in the woods? Once you say you had to do that, it don't matter where you was. You could have gave head in a comfortable bed, and all that matters is that you had to do that act. To me, but it sounds absolutely atrocious that he's saying people would openly tell him this. That's another thing. I wonder if that's necessarily true or just a colorful part of it. But if that is true, that means that people would do strange things for a piece of change, literally, like homeless men doing this, performing these acts for just a little something. It's got to be just a little something. So just imagine how much these guys, they're getting offered millions of dollars. You know, I don't know if you ever considered this. When these stories are told about men doing things like that to get ahead, we don't really look at them as if they've been essayed, right? But if it were women that we heard about that were
Right.
giving themselves up to get a position, we would instantly see them as the victim and understand who the actual problem is, and it's the person who's dangling, you know, the
Yes.
position of money, right? But that's essentially what's happening now. And so what I really truly hear in all of this is that this is not an industry where you can get ahead on talent. This is a disgusting industry if that is the case. And the
Yes.
people who are gatekeeping by way of favors and things of that nature, where you got to wear a dress, you got to be humiliated, shot in the butt. It's all these different things they say a black person's got to play. Something's got to be done. And I'm thinking maybe we need to start investing in ourselves more, maybe create more independent movies and just trying to sell them and do away with Hollywood alone. That is very scary. And I feel for anybody who is going to be raising children who wants to go into acting, comedian. It seems like outside of athletics, you got to do something strange just to be able to, you know, showcase your talent. And that's asinine to me.
Yes, and that's a totally different beast in itself. I think when you're talking about Hollywood and the actions that you have to take and how you have to step outside of your character, you have to step outside of your value systems, you have to step outside of your moral compass to achieve that level of success. And it's unfortunate that you feel like you really have to, because do you? You know, I mean, it's at some point you have to take a stance. At some point, you have to be the odd one out. I think sometimes you got to go against the grain at some point, right? But
right. If there are no higher ups who's going to stop it from happening, then what needs to happen is all female actors, all male actors need to say no to doing any of those type of acts, and they still need those actors and actresses. So, I mean, I think that you could cause a stand by boycotting, because nobody, man, should be asked to do ridiculous things like that to get ahead. That is sad. That's sick. That's really sick.
It is, and like I said, it's all about choices, and it's all about your support system, who's around you. Because I think some people are, depending on their upbringing, they don't have that support system, or there might be family or people that they're around that use them as a meal ticket, so they feel like that's their only way to any type of access. So they're using every which way, and sometimes they're not sure where to go or who to turn to. So they see people in this industry as family. They see them as their support. They see them as some people that they can trust, not knowing any better. You know. So do you think, okay, so given what we just talked about, where do you think Katt Williams stands in this? Because even though he mentioned that these are the actions that have to be taken, what did he do to get into this? Like, what was his start? Like, I know that he spoke more about it, because he's saying something about he moved on his own at 13, which I'm not too. The jury's out on that one.
Well.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Yes. So yeah, the jury's out on that one. So I'm just wondering, like, where did his stardom begin? How did he get here?
Right.
What did he do?
He says he's on the grind doing stand-up and just, you know, getting out there and letting himself be heard the old-fashioned way. But many of those other artists, frankly, were the same way. But when he says he's in the same room as some of these other guys and they're being offered to do those SX, where he said no and they said yeah, but they all ended up in the same place, they could have likely just as easily said no. But when he poses the question, I said no, I wonder if they did. It kind of gives you this idea that they may have, and I don't think that's necessarily appropriate. You know what I mean? Because you don't know that to be a fact. You know what I mean? So, and then from there he goes into that's why when I walk into a room, their heads hang down because they know I don't play that. But they could be just as well assuming that you did it if you're in the same room. Remember when he said Harvey Weinstein offered to give him a head in front of everybody? And then he said in the next party said he was in the next little scene thing with two other black actors, and he wondered if they did it where he didn't. They could be wondering the same. But what I hear overall is, why in the hell do we live in a world where somebody's asking you to do something like that to you? And when it's just supposed to be about auditioning and getting your part, right? Or whatever the case may be. That sex shouldn't be involved anywhere in any of that.
No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't. Yeah,
And he
but I want to
confirmed a
know.
lot of what we've been hearing and thinking was just simply like, uh, we thought it was, what do you call it? Pseudo, or we thought it was, when they talk about the Illuminati and all this sacrificing and things like that.
Right.
Uh, it's a word I'm looking for, but we thought it was kind of fake. Some of us thought it was real, but based on that, he's confirming far more. And when I think about like the greats, just dealing with comedy alone, Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, all those guys, I don't know if I want to hear that they've done those things or that they.
But they
I'm
have.
guessing, yeah, yeah. I mean, and that's why I say as a whole, this
Yeah.
is public humiliation of black men. I'm telling you, as a whole, it is. Even though this is happening by way of Katt Williams being upset that he's been lied on, so he's revealing things. We're still seeing a public platform where you're able to talk about men's sexualities and demean them in such a way. You
Yeah, but
understand?
that's the thing. When you say that, because he's saying, okay, I'm not saying that he hasn't totally been lied on, but you don't think he's had embellished, like you mentioned about embellishing. He do the same thing to these other people that you talked about, and there's some people that responded, even including Ice Cube, about the whole thing about next Friday, and I mean, so he has said some things that may not have been in alignment as well. And I think there's some level of narcissism in Katt Williams as well. Let's just put that out there. And so I do think that I'm just wondering, like, what is his end game at this point in time, other than the marketing strategy? What is his total end game, as far as throwing jabs at all these other comedians and their wives? Like, what is the end game about that?
It's hard to say. It could be a marketing strategy to get all those guys discussing him, to get all of us discussing him. He's damn near on every other slide as I scroll social media. It's mind blowing. Overnight, this guy has became the most talked about person on social media. Where as funny as he is, as talented as he is, he's almost gone invisible. I think even his last show, only a third of the show sold out itself. Now they're predicting that he'll have to do two shows in that same city just to cover up the tickets, just to cover the tickets. Um, he's always been funny. He's always been hella hilarious.
Yes. Yeah, he is.
He has done a lot of movies. I don't think he's done a whole lot of bad movies from what I can recall. He's always been funny. So I don't see it. I don't see it as jealousy because he's probably more talented than everybody that he named. It's just as far as stand up goes, at least. But
Right.
I think a lot of it is Katt Williams always has been this woke type of speak his mind type of person too. And I think that he got carried away. It started off him talking about the individuals that has insulted his name. But then as the questions kept going with Shannon, and I think he just became he's just a truth teller. And it's almost like don't open him up because he don't know where to draw that line. Because frankly, I believe he said far too much, mentioning Weinstein and just the acts that he said those brothers did to get on. If they did that, if that's true, he's not just telling on them, he's telling on those higher ups as well. And to me, I think that's
Right. Because
very
it wasn't
true.
a
So
story to tell.
he blamed Diddy.
And that's
Right.
why I
And it
think
was.
he needs to be careful, extremely careful after this interview because, to be a member of the community, I can imagine how they feel, especially right now where it seems like homosexuality claims are being used as a weapon. And if that's the case, that's wrong. Let's not use that simply because someone is upset, or someone did something we don't like. Now, if this is going on in Hollywood, and we've heard this for years and whispers and talks of these acts and things going on for roles, if that is the case, then this certainly does need to be exposed. Because let's be honest, you're supposed to be able to be awarded for your talent, your
Mm-hmm.
skills, your gift. I should not have to give you my body sexually for a role. If that's occurring, absolutely that needs to be exposed. But if not, he just needs to tread very lightly and be careful. And we shouldn't use homosexuality as a weapon to say, oh, he slopped up because I have a distaste for this person. We can't use it as a weapon. If that's occurring, let's be factual. But if it's not, let's stop with those claims and accusations because it is slanderous. Personally, I do think that there is some sinister things going on in Hollywood, and that's just my opinion. I really do. When there's smoke, there's fire. We've been listening to these talks for years. Not everyone's lying. And people that's chalked off as crazy. Orlando Brown is another one. Sometimes he goes between reality, and wherever he's at, which realm he's in currently. But we've heard these whispers, so it might be something worth looking into what's going on in Hollywood and how some of these people are or are not reaching their success.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct because he's only talking about comedians who act. He's not talking about the broader scope, like all actors, right? All these stage performers, singers, artists. I would say anybody not an athlete. I've never heard of an athlete having to do anything crazy to be able to get on the field or the court or the rink or the ring, whatever they're doing. But this is disgusting that somebody would have to do something like that to get ahead. And like I said, if this was announced, if this was some woman, if this was a woman revealing all of the women that she knew that had done S acts to get ahead, this thing would be. I think we would crack this open instantly and say, who are the men who are having them do these egregious acts? But when we hear this about on the flip side, we can say he's nasty, he shouldn't have done it. If somebody's
This is my comeback.
Who's that? Okay, I think that was Joe Will. I'm about to bring you in too, Joe Will.
And I also want to insert, Kevin. I also want to insert the fact that there were women that are predators as well, and we don't speak on that enough. I just wanted to put that out there.
No, you're absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. We don't speak on it because it's hard. It's so difficult for us to see a woman as a predator. It's just very difficult, and they do a lot of predatory things, and that goes under the radar. I was just talking about that the other day. Just riding in the car, I was talking about the difference in between enhancing your beauty and the literal art of deception. Lying and saying that you're on the pill when you know you're not. That's the equivalent to that man lying and saying, he's taken a test and he's clean, or he's been snipped. He's had a vasectomy or whatever. These things are lies, and they are likened to grape, honestly, to steal a man's seed, and we don't look at it that way. That's why Drake is like putting hot sauce in his condoms and things of that nature. But like you said, there are times where the woman is in that position to give a man a opportunity, and she uses that same thing as a power role, a power shift, even against other women as well. It's something about this dominance thing with them again. It's unreal. That's why I said it definitely needs to be spoken about, because right now we seem to be focusing on the people who did the disgusting thing to get ahead instead of the people who asked them to. I'm gonna drop the link again. Let me see here, Joe Will. Let me bring you in for a moment. See what you have to say so far. What do you think, King?
How you doing, man?
Peace to you. Peace.
My volume and everything is good.
Yeah, you sound good.
Cool. First off, I want to appreciate the platform and just you offering, the perspective that you have to offer to the world. I've been following you for about 5 years now, so wow. I see the growth, and I'm excited to continue to see where the growth continues to go. As far as this topic, I watched the interview last night. So the way that I feel about it, I feel like Katt Williams, he spoke on a lot of things that I feel like were true, but because of his comedic nature, I feel like, and based off of whatever experience he's had with these people, I feel like it came off in a way that could rub a lot of people the wrong way. But I kind of feel like it's rooted in some truth. Based on my own personal studies and research in Hollywood itself, I already know that it's a lot of like weird satanic stuff that they do in Hollywood based off the research alone. So I already know that it's a lot of like weird stuff going on, and I do feel like it's something that should be talked about, because outside of the fact that this is what actors and singers and rappers and people have to face when they're coming up in the field of profession that they come up in, but it's the fact that why is this something that they have to go through? Why is this a hurdle that needs to be climbed? Why is this an obstacle that needs to be faced? But it is, and that's why I kind of feel like when you hit a certain level of success, why not create those avenues so that especially if you are a person that personally have experienced that level of intrusion or somebody coming to you with that type of offer or, you know, ultimatum, if you personally have dealt with this, why not be, you know, that avenue or that olive branch for the people to come behind you to be like, yeah, I know how it is over here. I can create this. And, you know, ultimately having platforms like this and having conversations about being an act or something that they have to deal with or people have to deal with, it helps to, you know, bring it to light, you know, because I feel like I really feel like this is something that we should be talking about. I do feel like I feel like he probably feels some type of way towards a lot of them. I didn't get to see their interviews when they came on Shannon's page and did their interviews. Maybe like I like to like get everybody's side of the story before I kind of calculate my entire perspective, because maybe they said some things about Katt that had him feeling some type of way. I don't know. I'm gonna go back and look, but based off what I heard Katt saying, I do feel like it's rooted in some truth, but I'm not really sure if it's everything that he was saying is all the way true. But we'll see, you know, how people respond down the line and how things go. But what do you think about it, man?
Again, I think it's multi-layered, and I would try to deal with them, you know, one at a time, just kind of as the show goes on. But again, the biggest part to me is that it's scary. You know, who the hell wants to hear that people are being blackballed? And man, it's supposed to be about talent. They're having their jokes stolen. You have to do sexual acts to get ahead,
right?
Or you're being threatened. That once you learn some of these secrets, your life is at risk. Why isn't it just you just get up there and perform and do your thing? Why does the industry have to be controlled by these damn evil people? You understand? And why don't we do something to overturn it, even if it means becoming more independent and creating our own films and our own art? Because they've been usurping our power for years through the signing of these damn contracts, believing that we need this person outside of us to create the music that we write. All has came through their hands. Now they tell us when we can act, and they have access to the platforms and the screens. So we got to go get signed in by them, and they got us doing embarrassing shit. It's sad, man. We've seen some of the greatest talent break down to their lowest. Like I said, from running up the street naked to having to go to some other country and hide out, like Dave Chappelle. You know what I mean?
Right.
We've heard of these men. It's probably a few of them who we've seen kind of rise up. I think D.L. Hughley's one. I think Dave Chappelle is one who wouldn't, one of those bend but never break type guys, stand strong type guys. And I think now Katt's professing to be one. Whatever the case may be, I can appreciate him revealing the truth, because the truth is the truth, and it's gonna set us all off. It's gonna be very uncomfortable, but the truth, it is the truth. But what do we do about the truth? Do we discourage our children from going into those fields? Do we as Black people say, let's become more independent?
I think it's the latter. I think that is the answer there, because independence, you are depending on self outside of depending on someone outside of yourself to give you a platform. For example, if I'm on your platform, if you don't like what I'm saying, all you got to do is snatch the rug from underneath my feet. So independence, I feel, is the answer, because I don't really see us really changing the industry that wasn't really created by our people or a genuine energy that really wants people to succeed and grow. Like it is, I feel like it's scary because I'm an artist, bro. Like it was probably about like 3 years ago, you actually commented on one of my raps on Facebook. So I appreciated that. You said it reminded you of your younger self. So I'm like, hey, that's dope.
Okay, man.
So yeah, I got music on all streaming platforms. I pretty much am an artist that, and I promote the image or the idea of tapping into the God in yourself. I don't believe, because when they say fear God, it never made sense to me. It would be like looking in the mirror and fearing and jumping at your own reflection. And I just think that's crazy. Like even when you have a thought, it's like your inner voice. Are you afraid anytime you hear a voice in your head to have a thought, or do you identify with that as yourself? Right. We even say me, myself, and I. So I kind of feel like the more you get in tune with yourself, the more you tap into that God energy. But if we can tap into our own inner creative abilities and, you know, create something out of the genuine aspect of wanting people to grow and things to be fair for everybody, and you don't gotta, you know, deal with none of this, I think it would help, because, you know, the fact that even if you come out and you expose some of this stuff, and like, for example, I'm an artist. I'm going towards the independent route because I'm not trying to deal with none of this put you in no dress, have you signing contracts. Like the fact that you could sign a contract to where there's fine print, to where there's a secret clause within the contract that you got to have Inspector Gadget go over to realize is insane. They showing you out the gate that they're trying to catch you up and get you locked into something. So that's to me sinister intent. And I feel like if it's modeled that way, if they can't explain to you exactly what it is that they want, if they don't even like your songs, or even if they can't tell you why they like the song, then I feel like you should your energy should divert from that type of interaction with people, because they don't genuinely like you. It's for a motive. I feel like this is the reason why they promote music that's destructive in the first place, because that is what they want us doing, self-destructing. If we self-destruct, they don't really have to do nothing but continue to put the people in the positions of influence to cause us to self-destruct ourselves. So I think the answer is, jumping into our independent bag and, creating independent avenues so that, we create branches to where we don't have to keep going through these labels and these companies.
And you said something earlier about fearing God, and I'll use that concept with this idea of trusting God. I often say that we don't trust God because we don't believe in ourselves. And it's impossible to trust God if you doubt yourself, because you believe that God made you. And if you trust God, you believe that God gave you all that you need to accomplish whatever you desire in life.
Right.
And so to say that, I remember being a young artist, right? And this is before social media. My hopes were to one day run into an AR or an artist already signed and maybe just kick my shit to him, right?
Right.
It was a dream of mine. And that sounds so crazy to think that in order for your greatness or your skill set to be heard, that you got to find somebody else, and they call it discovering each other, because you don't have those platforms to launch to. Now we have social media. Even now it's still proven to be difficult, but I believe if we trust in ourselves, we will unite, man. Me and my brother, he rapped. Then there was people in my neighborhood who rapped. We beefed with each other. We was making songs about each other. We were in competition, and if we would have formed an alliance and created a studio together, we all each had our own individual studios that we all put our money into. But if we had joined that and created that larger, invested in each other, we could have probably went further. We were really talented, And now me and my brother look back and be like, damn, we really just was kind of lost. We seen everybody else beefing back then, and so that's kind of what we did, and we shouldn't have. Like I said, if we think like that now and say, okay, we survive better together, let's tribe up and start creating our own labels, our own studios, whatever the case may be. And then we support each other. And that's what's so important, that we support each other. If we don't want our brothers and sisters, they're human beings, having to do strange things for opportunity, let's buy each other independent albums and movies, because they'll get better over time when the money's there. But I'm serious, man. Hollywood in control of it. And you mentioned this part about signing of the contracts. When Katt Williams said that he had a contract that said that if he'd done any acting with Ricky Smiley, he had to wear a dress. And they asked him why. He said simply because he can't play a man to save his damn life, right? But it just goes to show that somebody can contractually have you wear a dress, like because of the paperwork. And like you said, you got to hire someone to thoroughly read over to make sure you're not being screwed. And to that notion, another layer of this thing, I wanted to call it being under a spell. With paperwork, with litigation, they able to trap us into contracts that usurp our resources, our royalties, and all that because of a piece of paper. Now, it's amazing because with that piece of paper, they can come into your house if it's a warrant on it.
Right.
And I always say that we're paper people, easily put under the spell because they have to write it out to spell it right. And
right.
Whatever you jot down, they call that writing, so you don't think it's wrong. It's very powerful, but also with words too. Someone can say something and you may have not even been there to see that thing happen. And now you believe in what they're saying to the point as if you were there. And I want to say that when it comes to the things that Katt said while they were convincing, he spoke with conviction and passion. I'm convinced that what he is saying is true, but I don't believe anything that anybody says. I don't think that belief is a useful tool for any of us to have. So I don't believe that we should. I don't think we should ever have to believe in what anybody says. Even if it sounds true, we should always go and try and get as much research as we can so we can have enough evidence to be convinced of something, but never believe because you
Right.
weren't there to see it. Belief is just
It means doubt is present.
falsehood.
Like doubt is never disassociated from belief because you don't know. So there's always an element of doubt in the presence of belief. I feel like, so I get that.
Yeah, and I
get
didn't want to. I didn't want to be rude. I'm gonna drop down and let another voice be heard. But I want to say I love where you brothers are, because that was a major gem he dropped with speaking of how he pays his own specials. He does not do it with sponsorships. He does not use quote unquote their money. So I love where you fellas are. So I'm around.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Peace.
The producer, I see
I
you in the
appreciate
room,
you,
King.
Kevin.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The producer, I see you in the room, man. Give me some thoughts.
Hey there, how you doing? I'm back.
Doing amazing. King.
Yeah,
Welcome
I think he did a good job, and yeah, I think he told the truth. And like I say, he's a comedian, so he gonna ask some comedian come, make it funny as well, and with passion. And yeah, like I know what I listened to Shannon Sharp and said they did the interview last year, so sometime last year, so he might have thought he might have expected to been dropped right before his special with her, but Shannon said he gonna wait to drop it out at the beginning of the new year. So that's probably why the time sequence was a little off with the special, and then this interview, because I did see Katt Williams special on Netflix. But I do know that he's dropped some information, and I think he just scratched the surface of it, and it's kind of interesting though. I did listen to what Ice Cube said and some other people, and a lot of them sound like they kind of gracefully did not go. So I don't know, you wrong. I listen to what they said, how people had to Ricky Smiley. I see he didn't come from no smoke. He gave him all props and love, which was I think a wise thing to do, because wise thing that I think that's very respectful that he did the way he did. I don't have no problem with that. But you can tell though, they're not really saying he lied either. So.
Right. So some of the other comedians are being very tactical in their response, and I think they're thinking of the best way to go about it. Some of them are even using it as a promotional tool. I saw Ludacris; he did a whole rap, and he went in too. It was fire. I'll show that to you guys as well.
Yeah, I saw that too. Then Ice Cube, I think Ice Cube was very careful with words, because I think sometimes, like when you're in Ice Cube position and you got people that you actually friends with and like, and you had no beef in the fight, he had to. A lot of people think he was just making stuff up and talking. I think he had to say it without offending his friends or make it sound like he's taking any sides. But like I said, when you got people in your movie, you don't have no beef against none of them. But at the same time, it's like you try to add more fuel to his thing. So he was very careful how he chose his words, how he broke it down without trying to feel like he took anybody's side about who was right, who's wrong. And I think there's a tough position when you relate to all those people, and you have how you have friends and stuff. You don't want to say, hey, why you saying that? And that's a little tough situation, kind of. So Ice Cube did kind of have to respond, say to that. But he didn't say Katt was lying either, though. But
no, again, and that's why I say that I'm convinced of what Katt was saying was true, because as Open Book stated here, he said things that can be proven. Like, say for instance, when he mentioned the Cedric the Entertainer joke.
Yeah, I saw that. He did. Yep.
I'm gonna play this video. I thought it was really good. This guy laid out a really good example.
Yeah, I saw
Let's
that.
check this out, and that will bring you up, Open Book. That was an excellent comment there. So let's watch this, guys. Bring up. See, Open Book. I see you down. Let me go ahead and see if I can get you up here. Okay, so let's watch this video real quickly.
Man, so I recently covered a video with Katt Williams calling out comedian Cedric the Entertainer on Club Shay Shay, saying he stole a joke from him from back in the days. I'll catch y'all up with that later, but first thing first.
That's not the one. Hang on, I'm just know what I'm looking for. Let me get the right one.
This is the joke that Katt Williams says Cedric the Entertainer stole from him. We are going to do a side-by-side, beat-by-beat comparison as well as a little research to get an official answer to whether or not the joke was truly stolen or just a little similar. Katt Williams' premise: black people listen to their music so loud that they can't even hear it when their car turn off. Cedric the Entertainer's premise: black people could fly a spaceship to the moon like a 72 deuce and a quarter. Now, the first obvious similarity is that they both start out bouncing to music the same exact way. The next obvious similarity is how they are turning the wheel. That's almost identical, but Cedric the Entertainer is turning it a little wider because he got a bigger spaceship wheel. Now, this is where they part ways, and Cedric the Entertainer could probably maybe say my joke is completely different because Katt Williams has to get out of the car when it stops to get it back started, and he starts directing traffic. However, Cedric the Entertainer cannot get out of the spaceship because, he'll float off into the empty void of space, no gravity, no oxygen, you get the picture and all of that. However, he does mimic the directing traffic part. So he's still kind of on the same story beats. But that ends here because the climax or biggest punchline of Katt Williams' joke is when he had to give the car a push and hop back in, start it up, and start back riding, listening to his music. Now, Cedric the Entertainer gave two different responses to this, and we're going to go over both of them next. But the part that was the most different was how Cedric the Entertainer had to end his joke saying that black people only turn down their music when they got a parallel park. So he turned down the music and parallel parked the spaceship, then cranked the music back up. Now, finally, this was the first of Cedric the Entertainer's two different responses.
What up, y'all? What's up? It's I'm gonna address this Katt Williams thing one time, man. I saw people on there really commenting about that. Look, I have no idea what this brother is talking about. That joke is over 30 years old, close to 30-something years old. I did the Kings of Comedy in 1999. Probably have been doing that joke 6-7 years before that. I don't even know if Katt was doing comedy then. So, again, you're a talented brother. I have no idea what he's talking about. I've never seen Katt do a space shuttle joke. So, there may be something that he believes is true.
Yeah, right there, guys. I want to show you something before I let him continue. This is where it said threw me off here. And this is why I don't trust in what said is said. This is why I'm not convinced of what said is saying, okay? I'm going to show you guys something here. If you guys have ever heard of a straw man fallacy, put a 1 in the chat. If you guys completely understand what a straw man fallacy is. And guys, please learn your fallacies. Get caught up on them because it helps you keep your mind from being easily manipulated. Learn when someone is making a logical error, even when yourself is making a logical error, because you can confuse yourself by simply going down the wrong path, man. There's so many different fallacies to learn from, but this one is called a straw man fallacy. I see the ones in the chat. Good job. So it said a straw man fallacy is a type of logical fallacy where someone misrepresents or exaggerates an opponent's argument to make it easier to attack or refute. Now, here's the straw man fallacy. He says that I have never saw Katt Williams do a space shuttle joke. Now, how many of you guys know that was not what Katt Williams was saying? He didn't say he stole my space shuttle joke. No, the only difference in Cedric the Entertainer's joke was that he made it a space shuttle. The point was you guys were both driving a vehicle. You took his car joke and you turned it into a space shuttle. So he's like, I've never seen him do a space shuttle joke. And that's why I'm not convinced of what he's saying, and I'm convinced that he is telling a lie. It's some other reasons here too, because I just say evidently Cedric the Entertainer is capping right here. He's cold capping because he knows this man didn't accuse him of taking a space shuttle joke, and it's so crazy how he intentionally missed the point right there, right? Because that was never the thing. But that's why I say I don't trust what he said there. Now we're going to go back to the rest of the video. 1 second here.
I've written a lot of jokes. I've had a lot of comedians steal my jokes as well. So I understand.
Right there. He said as well. So as well. Now he could be saying that Katt Williams has had some jokes stolen from him, and that's why he's blaming him. And so Katt Williams may be traumatized and thus paranoid for because he's had, and so he's just thinking that people stealing his jokes. I'm like that with rap. I've said bars months ago, years ago, and once you put it up here online, man, people see it. I don't care who they are, they see it. And when I hear somebody rap one of my bars, I do think in the back of my mind they could have stole that line from me. You understand? But I don't do the blame game. I don't say it out loud, but I'm strongly convinced, man, that even some of my favorite rappers have took some of my lines. And we're all online, family, so we all see each other. You know what I mean? So maybe they're not clicking like on my shit, but I swear I've heard some people's albums where they say, I'm talking about line for line, some of the flips I've done, they may change it slightly. And we get that happens, but when he says I've had my joke stolen too, it's almost like he's saying, hey, it's part of the game. You understand? And maybe it is. He did change the joke enough. I would say, if you look at a Jay-Z bar, now fellas, what y'all think? If you're looking at a Jay-Z bar, sometimes he'll intertwine something somebody said, and it's almost like to give them props, especially if he makes it a little tougher. We don't necessarily see that as stealing, and maybe comedians are thinking the same way. What's your thoughts?
I agree. I think he lying. I think he lying too. And I've never heard anybody still said you understand a joke anyway. So I don't know what why he would make that statement. He just saying something. I ain't never heard nobody else. Cedric Tate jokes ain't even that funny to me anyway, and they ain't worth stealing.
What do you think of him actually? Because
I think he lying because
right.
I think he stole the.
Would you call it stealing or would you call it remixing? What's your thoughts on that?
I think he took the idea and
he was inspired.
Yeah,
right?
But I think, like I said, I agree with Katt. I think the problem with Katt, like he said though, the man did admit behind the scenes that he took it, and I guess I basically apologized that he was going to the public. Don't act like he ain't know nothing about it. And that's what kind of set Katt Williams out. And I do believe Katt Williams' story about what he said. And he been disingenuous. You know that is he could have just said, yeah, I kind of took it and remix because ain't nothing wrong with that. Because some comedians do that, and some comedians do ask can they borrow their jokes and stuff. But ain't nothing wrong with it if he was just honest about it. Though, so I'm saying, like you say, Curry helped write his joke. Like we all know that Steve Harvey stole the whole line of Curry's jokes. I heard him. I seen him. The whole word for word, nothing changed because the man's a good writer. So, Katt, we don't have no problems giving props to who helped write jokes or perfect jokes. So I do understand why he will be offended by that. Could say I got the ideal style, it's changed up a little bit or some type of credibility. But some fact, yeah, I don't know what are you talking about. We know you lying.
Right, come on now, come on. And that's what I'm saying. The biggest problem with it all is that he's lying. He's blatantly lying about it. Open book, I want to give you a chance to share your thoughts as well, love.
Good evening, Kevin. How are you tonight?
I'm doing amazing. How are you?
I'm good.
Fantastic.
My son ready here. I'm sorry. But yes, hello everyone in the panel and the chat. I'm loving this conversation. I was just talking about it on one of my pages the other day. And I first have to say, I love all of these comedians. And I know Shannon Sharp even mentioned that it was hard for him to do this interview because all of the people that they were talking about, he had some dealings with, he's friends with. So it was hard for him to hear a lot of this. In regards to the joke part, well, also I believe that Katt Williams is telling the truth. In regards to this joke part, I do feel that, and I think Kathy did a video earlier, that it wasn't really copied verbatim, but even Katt Williams said that. He said, yeah, he changed it to the spaceship, but at the least, Cedric could have said that, okay, I was inspired by this joke, because he did polish it up and do some different things with the joke. But where did the whole premise come from? A lot of things too that Katt Williams has done, he has written his own material. He stated things that can be proven. Like, did y'all really write this? Okay, where did it come from? He gave props to, I think, Mark Curry helping him. So he also has a witness as far as who helped him write this joke. So that's another factor. I believe that he's telling the truth about a lot of things, but a lot of things are going to be kind of dismissed because, like you said, and I agree with what you said about it being colorful, but that's his like delivery. He's a comedian. He's going to tell things and give a little shade here and there. And, you know, it's funny to me. We are making jokes on social media about certain things, but the underlying thing was, I think he's trying to give us some insight into some things that are happening in the industry as far as gatekeepers. That's not just in that particular industry, but I've even heard about it in the gospel community. You know, you have certain gatekeepers there. And so I think over the course of the time, he probably started off with these comedians, but he said they formed a little gang, as he called it. And then there were some that are on the outside. Although they're comedians, I feel that Dave Chappelle, Katt Williams, Chris Rock kind of are in a separate category than these other guys, in my opinion.
I think so too.
Yeah, and so I felt like he was trying to give us some insight into some things that are happening behind the scenes. And if you really listen, it's some things that have been said in the past that he's confirming. But some people want to chalk it up to he's drunk, he was drunk, or he has a mental illness and things of that sort. But he was very coherent. I've also seen that he's tested at a genius level. He said he's never had to market himself for his shows and so forth. And we've seen, you know, publicly some of the issues that he's gone through in the past, and he bounces back each time. His shows sell out each time. And so, but those are some of my thoughts. I'm really enjoying this conversation because this was really, and I didn't even know about Club Shay Shay until this interview.
Okay, yeah, he definitely put it on the map, but he's been going for a while now. I've been checking him out.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for your input.
So I just wanted to, if I could chime in, I wanted to play. Oh, I'm sorry.
Absolutely. No, you're fine. Go ahead.
Now, I wanted to play devil's advocate real quick as far as the stealing and inspirations go, because I just wanted to say that sometimes when we do certain things, or when artists, like whether it's jokes, songs, or whatever it is, sometimes you may not know that someone else did it first. We may not always be aware of that. So, you know, I'm not saying that's the case here with Cedric and Katt Williams, but it could be a possibility that Cedric may not have been aware that Katt Williams did it first, or vice versa. You know, it may not have been a situation where the joke was done already and it just so happens. I don't know. I know it's a major coincidence, but I mean, I'm just saying that it could happen because there's a lot of people, a lot of artists that
are. If you could just take a stab in the dark, what's the percentages that you think it can be a coincidence, being that it had so much in common? What were the differences?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's how I was thinking that. That's a major coincidence, but I wanted to use the example of, like I said, but a lot of people sample other people's songs, and that artist may not be aware that it was a sample from somebody else. They might have not known that until they get a lawsuit going. So I'm just saying that sometimes you may not be aware that something was done before them, or it was tweaked, or it was done differently. I'm putting that out there.
No, and it's not. I can see that he could have been inspired from the joke from someone else who was inspired from the joke. These guys go to different clubs. And
I am using my brain really hard. I don't know if that was. I don't know if that was directed at me, but I'm using my brain very well. I'm just putting something out there that could be.
I'm sorry to even highlight that. I didn't recognize.
Entitled to opinions.
Let's not discourage, guys. This is a build. Everybody's thoughts are welcome.
If
like
I'm mistaken,
guys.
Yes. If I'm
again, she even premised it with she was playing devil's advocate there for a moment. So she's just playing devil's advocate. That literally means it's not that I believe this. Let's just try and highlight some things to the contrary, to consider other perspectives. And this is good. This is so you don't become biased, guys. You should always try and play the devil's advocate. Anytime you decide to create something new, you play the devil's advocate and ask yourself questions that could destroy your own arguments. And that way you have the most solid argument when you make it, and be honest as possible. You know, we don't want to use confirmation bias and end up virtually nowhere. You know, it's a very dangerous place to be. I like that. Playing the devil's advocate there. What were you going to say, producer?
If I'm mistaken, if I listened to you correctly, I believe Katt Williams said that Cedric was at the show when he did that. Did that performance where they're watching him and told him he enjoyed it or whatever.
Right.
And so that's how I believe it. Because Cedric Cedric can't say he don't know what he's talking about. Because if he could say, "Oh, I can see what you're talking about," it's similar to what I saw the show, that'd been different. But
right. So that's why I'm further convinced, because Cedric didn't deny seeing him in a club. If Cedric would have said, the man said I saw him in a club and dapped him up and told him I like this joke, that couldn't be farther from the truth. Then now it's he say, she say, and what we have to look at is the evidence outside of them, which is that those two jokes. And if I looked at those two jokes, I'd first want to know the dates of them. Katt Williams goes on to say that it was on BET. It came on with the show. It was there. It was one of the parts that they used to come on with the show. It was so popular. It wasn't just a joke he told. It was his best joke and his last joke before leaving the stage. I remember that. I remember him telling that joke and leaving off that joke. So if Cedric's joke came after that, yes, he was inspired by that joke. It's nothing wrong with it, which makes it more egregious that Cedric would lie about it, like just stone cold lie about it. Katt said Cedric can't dance. He can dance. I don't think I know if Cedric can sing. I think I remember him trying to sing. I don't think he was that bad. I do think I thought he could. He told us that's what Cedric the Entertainer means, is that he can sing, dance, and all these different things. But that I don't know. To me, it's just, you can't say a person's stage name and then say that based on their stage name he should be able to dance, sing, and that's why I say with every person he had some stone facts, but then he had some colorful material to take shots at him. You know what I'm saying? When he said he bust Cedric in his stomach, let's be real, guys. Katt Williams is 5'5", around that height-ish. He did say he does 100 push-ups a day. I do not believe that. I'm just being honest. I saw him lose a fight
to that kid. I saw that.
To a preteen, okay? Yeah. It is a very, very, very embarrassing. And that's even okay because he is undersized. He's a smaller guy, so we can't expect him to be a great fighter or a strong fighter. But I do say that his confidence is much larger than his frame. And I saw that when he stood up and looked at Shannon like he was on the offensive line. And Shannon Sharp just looked at him like,
he said, boy.
Funny me.
I love Katt Williams, bro. He has a lot of confidence. He has a lot of pride and courage, man. So,
real funny when he said something I can run a 4.2 or something.
That
was funny though. I was like, run a 4.2, so I can run a 4.2. I can run a rat. I don't know if he run a 4.2 right now.
We talked about those contracts.
That 4.2 really got me though.
And on paper you can look better, but we know what it is when we get on that line. Great analogy.
Yeah,
but him saying on that line, because yes, that translates to Shannon.
But that's what I
know fear in Shannon Hawk by doing that. Hey, look, it's very small.
Yeah, that was funny though.
It's hilarious. Very.
But
hilarious.
That's why I also said in the earlier. Yeah, that's why I said before about him have some narcissistic traits in him. It's not just confidence. I think it goes to a level of narcissism. Even when he mentioned about he will only do a movie with Ricky Smiley on the stipulation that he wears a dress. Do you really believe that happened? Do you believe that honestly?
Right. No.
That was a stipulation.
Right.
About Ricky Smiley having to wear a dress in order for him to work with him.
You have to see the contract.
I believe it is.
I believe it's true.
I wouldn't even.
He said that first.
You can't tell me that's not. You cannot tell me that's not narcissism.
When he said that first Sunday was the next movie after that, I was like, wait a minute, because Ricky Smiley did wear a dress in that movie.
Maybe I feel like.
So another actor is who contracted that. So
but I don't think that has anything to do with his
Nah, yeah.
It just sounds like
I got that very seriously.
It sounds like The Plantation, man.
I don't think it has nothing to do with Katt Williams making a stipulation in the contract that he has to wear a dress in the next movie that they work together in. I just think that was just part of the script.
We don't know unless we see the contract though. They probably gonna tell the man that.
Because just think about this, okay? Okay, let's say this, okay? We look at that as a form of humiliation. Wow. Katt Williams said something that gave me a little bit of a different perspective. He said that, well, Ricky Smiley plays a great woman, even better than he plays a male character, right? They are acting. Men, it used to be men doing all the acting. They even were the first to wear wigs and makeup as they acted on behalf of women. They played women. So I think it starts off as a great actor can play both man and woman, but when we look at it as Black people, we see that as demoralizing for a man to be in a dress. So we look at it like it's some type of cultish type thing where they are embarrassing these men by putting them in dresses. And so when I'm hearing Katt Williams say that he contracted that, I'm like, so what? That sounds plantation, because sometimes we died at the hands of our own brothers and sisters who were enslaved by us, through, and just to think that it's not higher ups who put him in a dress, it was another fellow actor and peer who put him in a dress. That would sound crazy to me,
Right. And then he's speaking out against the fact that the labels have these, they make people go through these ritualistic type things, but why would you then use your power against another person and do the same exact thing?
Because he's so strong against not wearing dresses and things like that and not doing these things that, why would you have somebody else do it? So I'm like, that's a little hypocritical, man. That's big time hypocritical right there.
Yeah. I do think I agree with you. I think that Cedric lying, because he know damn well that man wasn't talking about that joke in that way. He meant the nature of the joke. So to throw that out there was a smoke screen. And not only that, but if it was televised, there's a timestamp. If Cedric is going to say that he had the joke first, there should be footage of that. Right. If he's been doing it from that long ago, we have there's cameras. Where's the footage? If you can't present the footage, you're lying.
Yeah, right. It's sad to say that because like you said, now him saying he's done it on stages. So now they can say when and get eyewitnesses to who was also performing on those stages with him.
Right.
And there's nobody to say, yeah, I remember him even doing that. So you just cap big time. And that was hard to trust anything you say. He could have said, yeah, I was inspired by the joke. I thought it was an excellent joke. I built on the joke.
Why not?
And then you're good. What's the reason for capping when y'all build and reflect off each other? Like, what's the reason?
I don't know. That's what made me not believe him, though. Just give them they credit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was inspired by what you said. I was inspired by what you did. That's why is that hard?
Right. Tiff the Gift had posted a Break Room 411 typed in here. Jay-Z's quote. You made it a hot line. I made it a hot song. I was just saying that to Lacey downstairs about that. With the mention of Jay-Z, because people would always say he's still in lines. And it was something that he didn't deny doing. If you hear me say a line, I was inspired by it. And even as an artist, I used to do that. If someone started off a verse in a certain way and I thought it was cool, I'm going to do that and flip it. But it's really to show that I'm better or challenge them. I'm not literally taking their bar. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't see any reason why he should have denied that. I did learn that there's a lot of passion and competition when it comes to writing jokes. Because Katt Williams is definitely competitive to the point of where he's competitive. He's very petty.
Yeah, that's creative.
I'm funny at all the motherfuckers. I ain't know there's something to brag about. Like, you're not funny like me, motherfucker.
Hey man, he take that comedy serious.
That Warren thing, it was funny. I tried not to laugh. How he said was head like a Warren.
Yeah.
Oh, funny. I know. I know Shannon Charles Best not to laugh. I could tell he wanted to laugh, but that's his friend. So he tried to
when he stood up and said he busted his stomach, though, I'm like, man, sit down somewhere, man.
He knew what he was doing. I feel like he is a genius, though. I really think the fact that he was reading at that age, you know what I'm saying? I used to read the dictionary. People used to make fun of me, but now I feel like it helped my vocabulary so much that I'm able to say things in many different ways. But a lot of people that aren't on that level vocabularily, or if your vocabulary isn't on that level, you won't understand what I'm saying. So I think that he's a genius. He's funny as hell. He's funny as hell the way that he delivered, that entire interview. The fact that they had alcohol involved, I feel like he said the truth don't need motivation, but I do understand that the power of alcohol, Al Ghul, body, eating spirit, it literally de-energizes you and puts you at a frequency to where it you know what I'm saying, stuff like that come out. So
it's true. You're absolutely right, man. You're absolutely right.
Hey kid, I just thought about something. Hey, you ever thought it was already? We probably going to talk about. Hopefully, we talk about Steve Harcourt. We all know him. Hey, you ever thought Notice has been ironic? Okay, we know Katt Williams was homeless. That was for real. But you ever thought Notice it's ironic that Steve Harcourt claimed he was homeless, And then also Tyler Perry claimed that both of these people claimed they were homeless. And I heard neither one of them was really homeless. I heard that Tyler Perry, somebody else said, I can't who it was, said Tyler Perry lied about being homeless. It was somebody said that I heard.
This is why I say that the truth.
That's why I say that. You ever know how did everybody homeless tell the truth?
That's why I say it's not wise to live in the area of belief, because that's something I believe when I used to dwell in belief. I heard this years ago. Tyler Perry was homeless, so I believed in that. So now it feels like my brain is cracking, having to undo that potential lie, because I hate believing in something and being undone. Because why does it even matter if he was homeless? You know, and I guess it matters because he's told the lie. But it's sad that you have to come up with some type of sad backstory or something like that to fuel your creative campaign or something like that. But that's just ridiculous. These guys are lying about being homeless. Why would you lie and say you was homeless when you weren't? I'm thinking that's something you'd lie about. Say you was never homeless when you were.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think it's good to lie about it. I would hate to be homeless, but I do feel simple.
Like a great comeback story. What if didn't Sylvester Stallone have an amazing comeback story like that, where he was homeless and sold his dog, only to buy it back when he got back on his feet? Great story, but it's like, man, hell. That's why I said, listen, let's remind ourselves, guys, we are literally talking about entertainers. Now, it's not that these are not human beings, but we're talking about the entertainment industry that we know is set there to distract us. We know this is the gladiator games and the
Coliseums and shit.
And the Coliseums. We know this, right? And here we are, consumed with what's going on behind the scenes. And it's not to say that it's not important. It is, because our fellow brothers and sisters take part in this and we care about their lives. And it's sick. The things that are sick is what I'm concerned about. I get that people have tribed up and they are blackballing each other. I can understand that happens because it's humans and we just evil, man. The love for money is the root of all evil, the love for it. And sometimes it's the love for fame, the love for being number one. And so people trip each other, man. Crab mentality. I hate that happens, but humans are flawed. But the part that really bothers me is the sick shit that they're asking them to give each other head and do sexual favors. That is beyond me, man. Or they're giving you different wives. What do you guys think of that? That they have so much control that they're giving you different wives to play parts like your life is acting instead of like your life is the Truman Show.
I was just about to say the
Truman Show. Exactly. There's a lot of truth in the Truman Show. It's amazing how Hollywood puts stuff out in front of you. The truth in front of them, make you think it's a game. But they do it all the time. Everything that's real, they put in truth.
So what if they're saying we are Truman and not like say everyone in the entertainment industry, not even their personal relationships are real, even that is acting. What if that's the case for a lot of these guys who are higher up? If we've heard that Jay-Z and Beyonce were chosen to be together for whatever reason and things of that nature. Do y'all believe it goes that the rabbit hole goes that deep? And for me, like I said, conspiracy theories, that was the word I was looking for earlier. Don't know why I couldn't think of it, but a lot of these things we've barred down to conspiracy theories. But doesn't what Katt Williams was saying in that interview confirm a lot of these conspiracy theories are true? What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think they're true. And the reason I think it's kind of true because the way so many people responded, it's kind of like what TD Jakes did said. Like it's kind of like what that's how which guy look right now. With how TD Jakes responded, but if I did do it, I gotta do it a bit. That's right now how which guy looking to sign on in the roundabout way right now with his little statement. Like he guilty by saying something like that, you know, because like I think like I said, I think he is telling the truth, but a lot of stuff that Katt Williams said they did or didn't do, that nobody never came out and said, hey, I ain't never done none of that. That Katt Williams, but they look kind of like they're taking a back seat a little bit. Really, you know, they look kind of like they got caught.
I think. Well, I have a different take on that because I know people say, like, even on social media, saying that a lot of people are responding, but never actually flat out said that he was lying. I mean, do you actually have to say that? I mean, because if they're giving their rebuttal, you don't necessarily have to say, "Oh, you're lying," but they're actually disputing what he's saying. So it's kind of like the same thing.
Well, it's kind of like this. They ain't talking with passion. They talk like they're defeated. Like when Kevin was telling when people lying, you know, like when you were doing it earlier, Kevin, when you tell how passionate he was about the lies, you were very firm on it. You were passive about it.
You got to let that be known that that's
these
a
people
lie.
are a little passive about it and talking in circles. He hitting up, but not really hitting on it. Then I say, oh no, this is specifically not true. This is what really happened. Maybe he got misunderstanding. They're not saying that.
Yeah, it comes off, their responses come off to me is I want to deny this, but I don't want to infuriate him further. You've now shined so much light on him, and he's about to do a tour, and the last thing you want to be is inside this man's mouth right now. Pause. While he has this many eyes on him. You understand what I'm saying? So listen, man, I've been saying this, but this is the public humiliation, denigration, and emasculation of the man. I'm telling you guys, I saw on the news the other day, it was called Gay Sex in the Senate. And it literally on the news, it was showing that two men had got it on in the Senate. And that's not newsworthy. That's not newsworthy. It's disgusting. It needs to be handled within the Senate. But we, the people, we don't need to hear about that type of stuff. You understand? Even now, the platform that's been provided to talk about all these men, it's going to get to a point to where men that are talented, that we are looking at, many of us grew up looking at these guys as heroes and aspired to have the talent they have. We're not going to respect any of these men after long because we're going to see them, while they may be talented, we're looking at it like they sold their soul. Like Will Smith, one of the greatest actors in the world.
Oh,
okay. Some people say the greatest black male actor in the world. I still say it's Denzel Washington, but
me too.
Right. So outside of that argument, we could debate that all day. But his first movie, Will Smith was playing a homosexual where he kissed a man and all.
Was it like Degrees? What was the name of
6
it?
Degrees Separation.
Yeah,
he did.
I ain't gonna lie. I was kind of upset. I didn't know. I didn't see that movie. That wasn't the first movie I saw his. So when I did see that, I ain't gonna lie. I did feel kind of like the degrees. I know, and you know that masonry deals with degrees, and you like it's like what? Why would they? And we know that they be having. They really be, it's like an agenda for them to be trying to put people like the emasculation of black men and men, period, is real. This is what they out here doing. And they utilize Hollywood or media to do that. So it's like, it made me look at it like, dang, like, cause if that's your first movie, nobody wants to come out. That's not your idea to come out in your first movie like that. I wouldn't want to do no movie like that. But the fact that was your first movie. And so
people say because of that, his first movie, that's was his kind of claim to fame, his ritual, right? His rite of passage, so to speak. I mean, and you see this even in sports, the hazing. I don't know why any of that shit is possible. I can't think of his name right now. It's on the tip of my tongue, but he played side by side with LeBron.
D-Wade?
Dwight Howard?
No, Dwight Howard got in a fight with him. They got in a fight on the side of the court. Strong athlete, light-skinned dude. Eyebrows touch in the center. I can't think of his name.
Anthony Davis?
Anthony Davis. I saw a video of him years ago when he was a rookie. He was butt-ass naked on the floor. And they was just like fucking with him.
I saw that. I seen that.
And he's like laughing and shit. What the fuck is that?
I forgot about that.
And that's like they call that hazing and shit. Or they make them buy lunch for everybody.
They do that in colleges. Yeah. In
the but damn, why is this man butt-ass naked?
But those sorority groups be doing that.
To me, that's all disgusting shit.
It's dehumanizing.
Yeah.
It's dehumanizing. Like why some people got brands. Like they got branded. And that their skin is disfigured for life.
Right. Or they have you do something that's very embarrassing for you. Take pictures in a certain position that they can use on you later. The industry shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. And that's why I say I don't know if there's anything we can do to even change it. Because I'm asking myself, okay, is Katt Williams in danger? Right? For the things that he's saying, would the higher ups be upset with what he's saying? Because this is not just a peer issue where he's just calling out some of these guys for doing sexual favors to get on. When you say that, you're simultaneously saying that their higher ups are perverts. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering is he in danger, or would they even care, or is this something that they are even with because it distracts us from some major goal? So my mind is kind of everywhere with this thing because if you're really in fear for your life or fear that they may respond, I don't think Katt would be saying any of that unless he's that damn bold.
Well, I think you're kind of like Jaguar, right? A lot of stuff she's saying was a lot of people thought she was just making up stuff. Then people started doing the research. A lot of stuff she says started to sound very true. Like Monique said stuff way before people time. Katt would have been saying this. And everybody say, "Oh, Monique just hating." Then now later on, you see the stuff she said over a period of time.
Well, see, he's always had that woke mentality, like you said, and that speak out, strong voice type of person. Katt Williams always been a man whose voice was a lot larger than his frame, and I always respected him for that. He's a fearless being, but like I said, I just think that he got a little bit carried away because what he was first stating was the truths to the people that lied on him. It just went into a little bit of everything to where he uncovered so much, and now our interest is peaked, and hopefully he'll go into more. I don't know if I want to hear more, because I wonder if we're ready for it. And that's why I say, when you hear of a man getting on his knees to get a position, or bending over to get a position, and we know what I'm saying here, we look at this a couple of ways. One, he doesn't have any integrity or character because he sold his soul. Two, he's now emasculated, and we think of him as less of a man because he did a homosexual act. And I'm wondering if the latter should be true. I am not homosexual, but I'm learning to be accepting of it and to not look down on men's sexuality if they are that way, because they are still a man. They still have every right to everything that a man has a right to, same respects and all, just like a woman, regardless of her sexuality. So when it's one thing to say that this person did a sexual act to get ahead, it's another thing to say that so the world can know that they're gay. You understand what I'm saying? Because we see that a lot where people are calling each other gay and whatnot, and it's to publicly denigrate them, because we know how, especially Black people, see gayness. We don't tend to value the man the same simply because of his sexuality in that way. Let's just say we value the patriarchal heterosexual man more than any other man. But am I wrong in that assessment, guys? And I don't think that the woman who is homosexual gets that same type of devalue in our world culturally. What y'all think, or socially?
I have a question, Kevin, and this is a good question, kind of. If I just say if these guys did participate in this or not, whatever they call it, so straight, if they are or not, why you don't think people in Hollywood like Robin Thicke, whatever? Robin Thicke, not Robin Thicke, but I think it's in some whatever the guy's saying. Why you don't think it's just a lot easier for people to just come out and just live their truth? Let's say I'm this way and go on by their business. Wouldn't it take a lot of a less guilty conscience if people just live their truth?
Yeah, I mean, because we're supposed to live in a world that's more acceptance of sexuality. It's not supposed to hurt your reputation. We're supposed to be accepting of other people, what they're doing. So to be able to humiliate things with those things, if they are facts, because here's the thing: even if a gay man is asked to give head to get a position, it's wrong.
I agree.
I think it's more wrong to ask a heterosexual man, but I can't say that because that's unfair to that person's autonomy and their rights as well. Right. I think it's equally wrong to ask a woman for sex to get a position, even if she's heterosexual and she sleeps with men and you're a man.
Right. I agree.
It's demonic, man, because you got to think these people have all this access to power. Why do they need to sleep with you? Why do they need sexual favors from you, man? It's crazy to me.
Either way, it's a sexual transgression.
Yeah, I think it's crazy too, because when you got that kind of money and power,
but
you can get sense almost. There's a lot of people get sense from besides trying to humiliate somebody just for a position. And I don't know. Right. It's very evil, though. It's very evil to do something like that. It's not necessary to do that.
I wouldn't want to be anywhere near that. Even if it means just like he's in the same room with them, but he didn't do it. I wouldn't want to be anywhere near no shit like that at all. I just wouldn't be a comedian. I think I would just change my man, just because you're thinking, okay,
I agree.
Beside you has done things to get ahead, and that's why he got the position over you, because he was willing to suck a thing. Like, bro, hell nah. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you tell me my talent can't get me there, I gotta find somewhere else to take my talent, because that's not fair. You understand? Like, if they can say that Kevin Hart is an industry plant, that they just
say that.
That's just crazy, man.
It is.
And that's why I say that. I know this is Hollywood. I guess they have every right to make whoever star they want to, but I like to believe that you want to be an actor, you work your butt off, and the best actor gets the position, and things of that nature. That's not what it seems to be. So I'd be scared if my child was like, I want to be an actor or singer. I'd be afraid of that.
I believe that it's an age of awakening because I didn't finish watching the live that Christian Keys did, but I saw in the caption and a little bit that I heard him speak on was about how he was sexually transgressed upon in the industry that he's in. So I do believe that whatever they be doing behind these scenes and whatever is going on, is a lot more people are speaking out about it, and just really what the people choose to do and how they choose to move off of that is what's going to determine what's written in the future. Because like I feel like if they doing that, then we need to, for one, identify it, for two, get away from it and create something that has nothing to do with that. Holidays, if people don't even know, the holidays intertwine historically with a lot of stuff like this.
Sex. Yep.
So it's
And
like
murder.
just psychologically, spiritually, energetically, we just disassociate with demonic, satanic, sinister energy. And I feel like that's what is deeply rooted in Hollywood and what a lot of these people have to go through just to make a living, and what they dream was. A lot of people didn't even think they had to do no stuff like what they got to do, and then they get here, worked all these years to get to this place, and then they fold like, dang, I really want this. I spent all these years trying, and then they end up doing that. Didn't want to do it, but now since people know, they use that as leverage against you when it comes to the media, and then now you're viewed as such and such because however many years ago you done did something and you can't take it back.
Hey, Kat, I gotta ask you a question in your opinion. I don't think things are coincidence. Do you think it's a reason why everything seems snowballing with people being brave enough to come out and say all this is going on in Hollywood? When on time they used to knock you off and stuff, but you notice how the traction from Casey's and Keys and Katt Williams, it seemed like and then I heard the guy, I don't know if it's true or not, the guy that used to do Empire from Yaz, I heard it say he was somebody say he's suing who's supposed to be suing, I think Will Smith and P. Diddy or somebody, because he was I guess harass. No, Yaz, the one that went bipolar or whatever, that kind of, cause a lot of times, a lot of people they get molested, they do mess up their mind, and like he was groomed by, I think, it probably be Will Smith and P. Diddy, that somebody heard he supposed to be suing, but it is kind of strange. The man mind kind of went bad, and they say, I think he said try to blackball him or something because he won't tell about them trying to do something to him. I don't know if it's true or not, but I don't think it's ironic that a lot of this stuff is coming out, and I think it's gonna be getting a lot more snowballing this year about people gonna start coming out and speaking because they feel it's a safe time to do. Because a lot of people didn't speak out, say, okay, I know people with money and power would knock people off, like the brother Bardos on Tasha K. They what happened with Eddie Murphy. Yeah, that was a strange time death, and I know about that lady that got knocked off. That was trans by Eddie Murphy. And I do believe that's really happened. But Brother Bob will be dropping a book about Will Smith in probably a couple more weeks. He was on Tasha K. I do believe everything he said was true. Yeah, that if it wasn't, it would have sued.
Yes, sir. And to your points, thank you so much, Lakeisha, for the $20 super chat. Thank you so much, love. To your points, King.
Yes, sir.
I want everybody in the chat to name a recent exposure of someone. I want you guys to see the going trend, because what I'm noticing is there's always a black man on the other side of it, regardless of who it's coming from. We remember Will Smith's friend that was on Tasha K talking about all these different people, right? From P. Diddy to T.D. Jakes to Will Smith to Jada and their relationship. And he even promised to come back if they didn't sue him. And I can't think of his name right now.
I think it's Brother Bilal, something like that.
Yeah, Bilal. Yeah, okay. So he's over there. He's exposing several black men. Jada's in there, but it's mainly the exposure of these men. Okay. Now you have the Kevin Hart secretary on Tasha K again, right? And it's all these things are being done from interview platforms. The one yesterday was on Club Shay Shay. This is on a YouTube interview platform that's now over probably gonna be 20 million views by the time we get off this live. has the whole world talking. It's unreal how easily it is to turn a negative light on someone, things you never even suspected before. Now we're looking at this saying, damn, this person bent over, this person got on his knees, this person told you jokes, and by the end of it, it's just going to be rubble. I'm hoping that that damn Denzel Washington name don't come up. I grew up watching him. I don't know why it even matters, but these people have become somewhat of heroes to us, and it just exposes a lot that number one, we care so much about it. With Kevin Hart, people were talking about, of course, him cheating on his wife. With Steph Curry, they're talking about his wife pulling off her ring when she saw the guy walk by. Why do we care, right? I look at it like these entertainers, they perform for us, and we find them entertaining. But why do we care about their personal lives, right? If they're cheating on each other, then they need to handle that on a personal level. But these things have become more of news than the political things that go on in our own communities. The people who go missing in our own communities, in our own back doors, and what's became news is simply entertainment. That's why I thought it was ridiculous that gay sex in the Senate was actually on the news, on the real news. And even this is on the real news.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah, Fox News was talking about Kevin Hart exposing all these comedians and things. So that's not newsworthy. This right here, what we're discussing is for the peasants. I swear to God, it's not anything that's anything. In the grand scope of things, it's not going to matter that Cedric the Entertainer stole that man's jokes. It's just not. What does matter is the damn sex rituals and that real shit behind it all. And I'm telling you, that's what should be on the news. But all they're talking about is Kevin Hart. I mean, all they're talking about is the names that he mentioned, the stealing of the jokes. They're saying everything but the damn the sexual shit that he named. And I think that's unbelievable.
It's intentional. The goddess, the Greek goddess of the illusion and deception is Medea. It's like the same word. So I feel like there is no coincidence that they highlight what they choose to highlight, and they highlight the lesser important things because they want you focused on the lesser important things.
Yeah, they try to make you forget about the ritual part. But he gonna be on Willie D TV real soon. They're gonna be dropping the interview. He gonna say wait with Willie D. Say go wait a little bit, then he gonna drop it. He says a lot more stuff that Kevin Hart. That's just a surface of it.
Somebody said they just call us peasants. I call us peasants.
Yeah, it is true. That's not offensive.
Sometimes we just have to wake up and recognize
that's what
where we actually stand. And when I call us peasants, it means that even in knowing that these people are doing this, we can do nothing about it. It's sad that we are powerless, man. And that's why I say we got to start sticking together, because they're not truly powerful. They just have access to paper, which they call resources, and we believe that paper is real. We trust that these contracts are real. Man, I promise you, man, they are truly usurping your physical strength, you dominate these men. Right. And now they control you because you believe in, the paper. I swear to God, I call us paper people.
Right.
Our gods are on paper. Our laws are on paper. I saw a video the other day. This lady, she's in another country. She ran up on this man's yard trying to film him. And he told her to get off his property. And she says, the law is I can film out here. He said, you ain't in America. And he walked right up on her and went upside her head. And it's like she was on his property. To keep him at bay with a spell. She's over here talking about laws and shit. He's like, over here, that don't work. You remember the guy, the white guy, he tried to go to that island to preach Jesus, and they killed him. They kill anybody that try to go over there.
Yeah,
and he went over there with his Bible in hand, trying to lead those people to Christ, and they shot his ass with arrows. And we were like, it was on the news. It made the news, right?
I didn't see it on the news, but I can't deny that it wasn't on. That it was on
that's
there.
crazy.
I would hope that made the news, because
it did. Yeah, they ended up having to go kind of rescue and pull him out of there, but they definitely shot him up with those arrows. They don't let anybody over there, and he knew that those people don't let anybody over there. From what they say, nobody's actually went over there in several hundred years. Nobody's came on that island, so those people protect their island from anybody who intrudes on that island. and here he comes in there trying to be a missionary. You better chill out. You know?
I wouldn't blame
them. You're not gonna go over there and read anything from any book that's gonna make those people bow down. It's just not gonna happen. You know what I mean?
I think it's wrong to try to make people accept something you don't want to accept. That's one thing
It's happened all the way throughout history. Yeah. We don't know this because we're on the back end of it, but religion always started off with people being forced to believe in it. It's never been something that everybody just said, let's start this religion and just go with it.
No, they came with that axe. They came with that sword. They came telling you this is the only one God. And if you don't believe what they telling you, then off with your head. And they force even the ritual that they do is called the Eucharist, the ritual. When they break the bread and they drink the wine, that's come from the Ptolemies. They forced the ancient Egyptians to participate in this ritual to give veneration to their ancestors. It wasn't even a veneration to Jesus, because Jesus wasn't even created at the time. But a lot of people don't know that. So they forced them to participate into this thing and force these people to transition into a different spiritual system that they call religion. This is how religion spread all over the place. But a lot of people don't research, and a lot of people don't know that because their parents didn't teach them. Their parents didn't learn and research. That's why it's called research. Re means again. Go search again what you was told to confirm what you was told is true.
You're absolutely correct. I used to always say to religious people that you were enslaved by Christians. I know we like to say white people, but Christians. And to the people who live in, it's like large parts of Africa, and they were enslaved by Muslims. You understand? And so we've seen this happen throughout history, and that's why I say when you go back and you research, it's mind blowing because the truth will wake you up. That's why I say the truth hurts. HERTZ. The truth gives life. The truth gives energy, and it will change. It will change your perspective 100%. It'll turn your lights on. And many of us are so blinded to actually what's going on around us, and we are unaware. We're just not truly conscious of where we are. There's a video I saw here recently, a comedian video. He's sitting on the floor, and it's called "When You're 5 years old and You Finally Gain Consciousness." And he's in a room with all the little kids playing with blocks, and all of a sudden the screen gets hazy, and he realizes that he's alive for the first time, and he's like, "Where am I? Where am I?" And one of the other 5-year-olds said, "Going to the moon." He's like, "No, you still asleep. You still asleep." And he's running around trying to figure out where he is because he just gained his consciousness. That's what it feels like when you finally wake up from all the lies we've been told. And so that's why I say hearing him yesterday was shocking to me. Just he's so freely told of things that really is a game changer. It makes you look at it now and be like, there's a lot of actors and actresses that he didn't name. And that just because they weren't on his radar, but it's enough to question now. How deep does this rabbit hole go? Is it possible to make it to the top as we would have it, or be a very successful actor or singer and not be violated, not be asked to do things that are humiliating? Or even if I don't care if you even flow that way, it shouldn't be based on that, man. It's crazy.
All right, Kat, I have a question. What do you think about he used the terminology? He kind of put it out there, but I don't think he really picked it up. He said that was Chris Tucker before he became Chris Tucker Sting. He compared to Epstein. So I was trying to. He said it, but nobody. I kind of. I ain't heard a lot about.
He made a couple of those jokes. He talked about it being called Christmas by Michael Jackson, and then he went on with the Epstein. This ain't Smokey. It's Chris Tucker, or this ain't the version of Chris Tucker that's Smokey. This is after Epstein's Chris Tucker. So yeah, I think he's definitely suggesting that Chris Tucker got something going on with him in that regard.
Okay, because I know he kind of threw it out there because I never heard a whole lot about Chris Tucker. Chris Tucker, he's like, you'll hear a whole lot about him as a comedian, for it's nothing bad anyway. So it kind of got my attention. Like I ain't heard no type of stories about Chris Tucker being in, socializing in that type of thing. I know about Chris Tucker is like a Christian person. I don't think I last heard about Chris Tucker. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Nothing bad, nothing in that area. You would think he would.
But he did say that. He mentioned that too. He in church, but he also said the other thing too, which makes it very confusing. Let me see. I'm gonna show y'all this other video here of Ludacris. Ludacris's response, real quick. Hang on. It's pretty good, y'all. He kind of went in on here. Let me go to it. D-Ham, if you're still in the chat, man, I dropped the link. I thought you'd come up, brother. Have you guys saw Ludacris respond?
I haven't.
I heard the rap song, but it wasn't enough.
That's it. That's all I saw. Check this out. You heard the things he said about him, right?
Yeah.
Say they were bitter or something.
He mentioned he had to shave his face and hair. He mentioned the money he was getting for
10 million a movie or something like that.
Yeah, for Fast and Furious, right?
Yeah. Or
All
was
right,
it 20 million or 10 million?
I think it was 10. I wasn't sure, but I want you to hear Ludacris' verse because it sounded like he wrote it overnight, and that shit is stellar if he did. I'm thinking that he, because you as an artist, you could tell me, but I think he doesn't really get into refuting or rebutting or anything like that until the end of his verse. So, and the beginning of the verse is the most clever. So I'm thinking that he didn't write this shit overnight, but if he did, I got a new respect for Luda. But check this out.
Heavy on my heart is always on my mind, like Snoop is always on. Whatever's heavy on my heart is always on my mind. Like Snoop's cannabis shredder, I'm always on my grind. They throwing shade because niggas could never take my shine. I bring my watch collection on my jet. Let me take my time. Like fine wine, I'm aging.
I bring my watch collection on my jet. Let me take my time. Hold up now.
Like fine wine, I'm aging like Benjamin. Top 5, I'm worth mentioning. Bring me rappers, I'm lynching them. See the pendulum swing. Jesus with diamond thorns. Ludacris swaddled in Gucci linens when I was born. Never been Illuminati. Only Illuminati, and I only left with bitches when coming from any party. Now I'm married with kids, the evolution of life. Never been a clout chaser, never say shit for life. R.I.P. John Singleton. You never have to flex when you earn every one of your Fast and Furious checks. Afro with the sideburns. Yeah, that's my signature. Addictions on the rise. Comedians check your temperature.
Yo.
Hey, man, he went in, bro.
No, he snapped. He snapped. I like that. He had hella bars.
Hella bars, bro.
It sounded like he freestyle. I could believe he wrote that because some rappers can freestyle that good. Like Lil Wayne, it's like something he probably just thought at the top of his dome.
Well, his bar breakdown, his complexities on it, like his rhyming every syllable tells me he had to write it. I ain't never heard nobody freestyle to that.
Nah, no. If you freestyling like that, you a genius. But because I like
next level.
Nah.
Lil Wayne could.
The penmanship.
No.
Like
nobody can.
I'm saying like bar. No. Like with clever bars. Like when you.
I bring my watch collection on my jet.
Okay, watch this. I'm gonna tell you, ain't no way you coming up with off the top of your head.
Watch collection on my jet. Let me take my.
Right. Okay.
I'm always.
So you got to think. Number one, when you rap and you got the beat in your head, you know you got your cadence. Well, I bring my watch collection on my jet. Let me take my time. He thought of that. That's not something you come up with on the spot. And then the way it rhymed each syllable into it, next level, man, it's bars. It's straight up.
My heart is always on my mind, like Snoop's cannabis shredder. I'm always on my grind.
And that could be freestyle.
Throwing shade because niggas could never take my shine. I bring my watch collection on my jet. Let me take my time. Like fine wine, I'm aging.
I bring my watch collection on my jet. Let me take my time. Hold up now.
Like fine wine, I'm aging like Benjamin. Top 5, I'm worth mentioning. Bring me rappers, I'm lynching them. See the pendulum swing. Jesus with diamond thorns. Ludacris swaddled in Gucci linens when I was born.
You're not freeing that. You're not about to free that right there.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The pendulum, the bar breakdown of the syllables in the words. That's something that you don't just freestyle. You understand what I'm saying?
I've been Illuminati, only Illuminati, and I only left with bitches when coming from any party. Now I'm married with kids, the evolution of life. Never been a clout chaser, never say shit for life. R.I.P. John Singleton. You never have to flex when you earn every one of your Fast and Furious checks. Afro with the sideburns. Yeah, that's my signature. Addictions on the rise. Comedians check your temperature.
Now, listen, as a fellow artist, I know you could say the first half of the verse is 8 to 10. The second half gets slow, right? It's not as clever at the end. And I'm thinking that's the part where he is rebutting him right there. So I'm thinking that he had part of that road already. He had some of those bars already in the rhyme book.
Okay. Yeah, but that's still, it don't say, it's not a whole lot to say that Katt Williams lying about anything. It's not a strong.
No, I'm just saying I like Luda's response.
Oh yeah, I like it.
He
Yeah,
made the best of his response by just rapping it and stuff like that. It's like he's not taking it serious, but you know,
making a joke out of it.
It's clever at the same time. Yeah.
It sounds like he could have did that. You know what I'm saying? Like you could. I got a bunch of like raps I could take the beginning.
I want that
kind
ain't nobody coming out hard. So now you lying. That nobody coming out. I mean, why you think ain't nobody just coming out? Say, man, why? You know why? Those serious accusations, though. Because those serious accusations not to come out. You know, for nobody not coming out hard about what he's saying. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm thinking they all agree. If so, Katt already mentioned that they done tribed up on him, right? That,
I mean, but how hard do you? I mean, you keep saying that, you know, he's not coming out saying he's lying.
Well, those serious accusations. I mean, if somebody made some,
I mean, you keep saying that, but I'm like,
yeah,
they all responded in their own way. Just because they're not flat out saying that he's lying, or I mean, I'm sure that it's probably taking a more dignified approach.
Right, because he's saying,
I mean, not everybody's going to respond the same way. They're disputing what he's saying. They all rebutted what he said. So that's basically saying that he's lying. That's the same thing. So just because they didn't flat out saying, "Oh, he's lying," it doesn't mean that they did not come out and publicly rebut his statements. They did that.
Well, saying,
so I don't understand why you keep saying that they just come out and say that he was lying.
They're not saying the way they say it is not too believable. That what they saying. I believe Katt more than what they saying. What I'm saying, because it's not as.
But I mean, how?
It's not as passionate.
Okay. I mean, okay. I mean,
you know, what I'm saying. I'm not saying. I'm saying they are rebutting it, but it's not. The rebuttal's not really strong, in my opinion.
Right. You're saying they don't have emotional response.
Okay, but how strong you want it to be? I mean, do you want them to curse him out, or you want him to want them to just be all?
No, but no, man. Like if you have something, bring some receipts. Show some. You know, I'm not like I said. The best one I like was Ricky Smiley. At least he brought somebody on to.
I am calm.
Say something about your friend. So I like the way he did that. I respect him that. At least he brought somebody to verify something about how he got that part. Now, so I said, Ricky Smiley probably the best one I've heard that made a response.
I'll look that one up too. So have you saw the Ricky Smiley one, Love?
Yeah, because like I said, I respect the Ricky Smiley. To me,
I saw that one as well.
To me, he was the best one.
All the responses.
Yeah, I like his response.
Yeah, I saw all the responses, and I feel like they responded in it. People have the right to respond in a certain way. It doesn't mean they have to curse the person out or be
I didn't say gotta be vocal.
You know, because they all have a platform and they have too much to lose.
No, I just said they didn't sound believable. Ricky Smiley probably, to me, sounded the most believable about what he had to say.
How long is Ricky Smiley's response? All the videos I see are like several minutes long.
Man, his was probably like, I don't want to lie to you. I know it was at least like.
Yeah, he brought his agent on there.
Yeah, it was a decent time, probably like at least 10 minutes.
Is he in a yellow hat, like he's at a radio station or something?
Yes, I think that's him. Yeah, he did a good one. I ain't gonna lie, I liked it. Because you know he showed up a love. He didn't show no hate. He showed a lot of love and compassion about it, and he just told his side of the story. And to me, it sounded like he was inside the story. I'm gonna say he didn't attack the dude or try to do anything crazy. Just to show his perspective. Like I said, I like Ricky Smiley the best.
Yeah, it appears to me that even Ice Cube kind of, I think even Ice Cube even kind of, co-signed or backed up what Ricky Smiley said about even with the Friday After Next character. He kind of, in his own respectful way, he kind of backed Ricky Smiley up on his point as well, and kind of called Katt Williams out for his discrepancy in his statement as well. So again, it's about how you deliver it. Not everybody's going to deliver things the same way. It doesn't mean that they're that the person is telling the truth, or just because they didn't flat out say that, oh, he's a liar or he's lying. They're all in their own way basically disputed what he said. That's why they responded.
I like the way Ice Cube did, but he didn't really attack like Ice Cube in the way because Katt Williams had a lot of respect on Ice Cube name, and Ice Cube had a lot of respect his name. I think on an Ice Cube position, he had a lot of people he was friends with, and he didn't want to take no, show no sides. So, he wanted to keep it mutual because he are friends. He had no beef. He had no beef. No.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I like the way Ice Cube did it too, but you can tell, like, it feels me. I can understand why Ice Cube's real choice with words, because you don't want nobody think you take the sides or throw nobody under the bus, because you do business with these people, and it is a little tight pickle to. He had to come out and say something on that, and I understand his situation. So now
I'll say this too. One of the things about tribalism, if they have in fact grouped up, when you target the whole group, they're not going to come clean. They're going to stick together regardless. Even if they actually like Ricky, even if they like Katt Williams, they are bound to each other. Their loyalty is to each other. So they're going to refute, they're going to dispute, and they did that. So I agree with the Queen on if they say if they give a different side to it, they are inadvertently saying that he lied. So they did deny it. And I know what you're saying also, that they didn't seem too passionate about it. They didn't seem upset. They were very indirect. They were all responding as if it was a way to deflect it and get away from it totally. So yeah, it seemed like it was like one of those things where they didn't confront him about lying, while they did, have some plausible deniability there.
Right.
Like I said, it's eye-opening just to hear all the things that Katt Williams was saying. And so because I see so many points where he is telling the truth, I can't see this jealousy, because he is likely more talented than everybody on there. I'm gonna drop the link again, D-Ham. So I can't say it's jealousy. So I'm going to say I am convinced that most of what he's saying
just
is
like
true.
the same truth he said about him reading 3,000 books a day.
That's the part I mean by there's some colorful things.
It's in a year, I think. He's in a year.
Yeah. So now here's the thing.
I corrected myself.
Yeah.
This video is very braggy. So he's talking about how talented he is, how intelligent he is. He's talking about how he does his shows by, you're going to get a different show, and my people are going to always be there. So it sounds like a marketing strategy as well. So I hear all of that as well. But how do you feel about the things he said about the individuals he spoke about? Because these people could really, when he says that he left the house at 13, or he read a certain amount of books, there's not really anybody who's going to care enough to deflect that, or anybody who can really. It's just something he's saying.
Right.
But when he says that Steve Harvey did this, and Cedric showed up at his show and shook his hand and told him these things, I mean, these people can respond. That's why I say I am convinced that there's something to what he's saying. What'd you say?
Yeah, but I was saying they're the only ones that can really speak on those things, because we weren't there. We're going off of what they're saying at face value. So we have to just kind of feed off of what they're saying.
And how you feel? Guys, my birthday's in August. That photo I posted was from my 40th birthday a year ago. Not this year, but last year. So no, yeah, I'm a Virgo. Y'all right. I'm August 26th. I'm not right now. That was just an old picture I was showing. Some old pictures.
Yeah.
Yes, I see you guys in the chat. I see you guys. D-Ham, welcome in, brother. Welcome in, D-Ham. Give us your thoughts, man. Good to talk to you again. Good to see you.
What's good, King? How you doing today?
Hey, man, I'm amazing, man. I checked that interview out yesterday, man, and mind-blowing to say the least. I listened to it again, this rise, and I think it's just unfortunate, some of the things that he's saying. It's enlightening, but more than anything, to me, it's very scary. It's disgusting. I've been saying I've
been listening in. My service may not be the greatest. So if I lose you, I'll be home in about another.
Okay, you sound clear right now.
Service not be the greatest.
Yeah, now you don't sound clear.
That boy went to Mars.
Yeah, as soon as I said he sounded clear, something happened.
Yeah, I'm concerned about his safety in the future, because they ain't gonna probably do nothing to not look too obvious.
Can y'all hear me?
Let's see. Let's try again. Go ahead.
I can hear you now.
We can hear a little better.
Yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me, King?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
I'm gonna check back in. If you still up in 20 minutes, I'm gonna check back in with you.
Okay, King. All right. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Ken, I can't worry about his safety. It is true though, because Because think about when people do something that they ain't gonna do it right away. It's a calculate. It'd be like later on down the road, 2 or 3 years. When people think you forgot about certain events, like they did, what happened to that lady that was gonna come out and say things. They don't do it right away, but it is kind of alarming. And I hope nothing happened to him though, because where if it's true or not, you wake up with called the sleeping giants, and
right.
with that man that kind of. Yeah, with a man that kind of thing, you gotta be careful who you go. Now, I think that's one of the reasons I noticed why Katt Williams probably winning, because he probably figured out that it's a safe place because he knows Shannon is not probably in entanglement with the other people, like the big news station stuff. They control, and he know that platform is not controlled by the mainstream industry, where people go come and look for you, or people may follow you. And it's safe, like one man, people try to shoot him and stuff like that. Yeah, I can understand why he says it's a safe place, and he wouldn't go on certain shows where he couldn't speak his mind freely without somebody, try to knock him off or something. So I do understand that. Then, like I said, he gonna be on Willie D TV because that he got his own platform too. He's not entangled in bed with the industry and stuff. So yeah, Katt Williams do got to move different. I think he's pretty smart to move differently, and hopefully. Whoever mess you trying to get out, though, I think he will get out somehow. I think he's very calculating, very smart. You can tell he ain't dumb. You can tell the man very smart.
Yeah,
I want to ask you guys something, just on a lighter note. State in the comments for me who you guys think are the top 5 to 10 comedians right now, from the funniest to least funny, or name your favorite. Let's do that. Name your favorite comedian right now in the chat. Who you think is the funniest? Because they mentioned Earthquake. I do think Katt Williams is funny. But
me too.
As far as a stand-up comic, if we're just talking about stand-up, Lavelle Crawford is amazing.
Yeah, he my favorite though. He's my favorite.
I always wonder why his name is not mentioned, because to me, he's my favorite. He's got to be my favorite. That intellectual comedy is Dave Chappelle.
Yeah,
I love Dave Chappelle too, but if you're talking about making me laugh, and I'm talking about laugh hysterically, it's Lavelle Crawford. It's not even close.
I wonder why they don't put it. I don't know why he don't get more time on Netflix and other places. To me, he is like a genuine. I think he one of the type of comedians that's like original, because you could tell that it's like it's in him. It's almost like you don't have to write it. It's just in him.
Yeah, but see, based on what
I feel the same way about Capone.
Capone, I don't know. Capone is a comedian.
I think, Capone. Yeah, if you look at, maybe you might recognize him from Comedy Hype. He's one of the panelists on Comedy Hype, but he's also been a stand-up comedian for some years. He's, I think he's underrated. Just like not knowing him now, I think you need to look him up and listen to his comedy. I think he's brilliant as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Lacey said Lavelle.
And also, I don't know, when you say top comedians, does it matter if they dead or alive?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to go with alive. Well, no, let's just name them.
Okay.
Who do you think? Yeah, see, let's see. I'm gonna name some of the ones in the chat.
Bernie up there.
Dave Chappelle, Bernie Mac's definitely up there. Eric
George
Weston,
Carlin,
Mike Epps, Louis C.K.
Bernie.
Yeah, definitely Bernie Mac.
We're gonna know
George Carlin for me.
Eddie Murphy for sure.
Absolutely.
And then, Richard Pryor.
He's funny as hell.
Pryor, absolutely. Yeah, Eddie Murphy is hella fun. Don't make no damn sense. Martin Lawrence, one of the best stand-up comedians of all time, too, to me.
Yeah,
Martin Lawrence, yeah. George Carlin also for me.
Absolutely, he's hilarious. Let's see. Yeah, Richard Pryor is very funny.
On SJ.
I'll say this with Eddie Murphy. I can see Eddie Murphy doing some slick shit, because I mean, and I'm just saying like some nasty shit, because I mean we've heard about the transvestites and stuff. We've heard about even on stage, he's getting on there with the leather pants and turning his ass around to the crowd doing weird shit. So I can see, and he's one of my favorite comedians and actors. I think he's one of the most talented men of all time.
Me too.
But I think that's not hard for me to accept that he did it, because he kind of has some kind of feminine type ways. But hearing somebody like Dave Chappelle would do something like that would utterly shock me. You understand? Because I can't see him doing anything like that.
What about Jamie Foxx?
Eddie is just his preference. Jamie Foxx is funny, but Jamie Foxx's stand-up comedy isn't where those guys are. But
Right. Yeah, I agree with Jamie. Yeah, with that one. And actually, I have a preference towards Tony Rock versus Chris Rock. I prefer Tony Rock.
Deion Cole is funny as hell. Deion Cole, he's funny as hell.
Oh yeah, he is. Yes.
Yeah.
I like Martin movies more than his stand-up. I think he's funnier in his movies and his shows to me.
Okay, see, I like Martin's stand-up. I like his movies, and I think Martin's comedy show, Martin, is better than anything he's ever done.
Oh yeah, that's classic.
Yeah, I think his stand-up is better than his movies. The Goody Goo shit, run tell that. Martin funny as hell to me. He's just, I don't know. He's just funny.
What was you gonna say about Laverne Crawford? I wonder why he didn't in more.
I was saying that based on what Katt Williams is saying, it could be because he won't do any of those things, or
I agree. He's too real. He's too real.
He had to lose some weight maybe before somebody asked him to do any favors.
He lost a lot of weight though. He did.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying more.
Yeah. You know, funny thing about our site, I go to YouTube, watch some of these little joke skits. I think he's still doing stand-ups in certain areas. So I'll be going to YouTube and see some little. They chopping them up like 5 or 10 minutes, a little joke to be told. But because I was kind of a little upset. Why come I guess they got Gatekeeper here. To me, he probably is the funniest comedian alive right now. But he's not getting no. It's not even
close. You're right. It's not even close.
Right.
Tracy Watson says Katt Williams, Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart is funny to me. People say Kevin Hart ain't funny. I do think he's funny. I think he was funnier back in the day.
Me too.
I don't think Kevin Hart's not funny. You know what I'm saying? But somebody said, let's see, Bernie Mac, Martin Lawrence, Arnez J. Yeah, Arnez J is funny. Red Fox is funny. Richard Pryor.
Arnez J.
Red Fox, very funny. Yeah, Red Fox.
Baby Kid. What's the Baby Kid guy name? I forget his name.
Robin Harris.
Yeah, Robin Harris. I like Hannibal Buress. I think he's funny.
She don't think Dave Chappelle funny. You know what I like about Dave?
I like some more. Let's see some of the ladies.
Yeah. Dave Chappelle's more of a storyteller. He like a Bill Cosby. He more of a storyteller comedian. Like Bill, he might be a Bill Cosby a little bit. Bill Cosby tells stories.
Man, talk to us. Let's give you a moment to come in.
Yeah. What's up, Kev? What's up, everybody in the chat?
Hey.
Yeah, I'm good. Hey, I think Dave Chappelle. I think Eddie Murphy. What you think about Mike Epps?
Mike Epps funny
in the stand-up.
Do I know? Do I know it? And the fact that I don't really remember it like that, I'm gonna say it can't be because I don't remember it like that.
Yeah.
What you think?
Yeah.
We're talking about the Wayne brother. Marlon ain't that bad. He ain't the best, but he's
yeah. There we go.
Marlon's last show, I think
Marlon.
Yeah, Marlon pretty good, decent for a person hard to
do. Yeah, I watch. Yeah.
You agree?
For real.
When it comes to Jamie Foxx, he got overboard.
For real.
Giraffe shit when he was doing like the African shit. I think he just does it too much. Like, I'm from Africa. I just think that was too damn silly. It ain't really that funny.
Who you talking about?
I don't know.
Who you talking about?
I like jokes with great punchlines. I do like when they can mimic and change their voices. That's funny too, but you got to have some jokes with it too. But
that's what I liked about Chris Tucker. Because you see Chris Tucker now, when he did the Michael Jackson impression, he had almost all the niggas in Jamaica, man, was trying to do the Michael Jackson impression just like him, So the impression stuff, that's a good thing.
The best impression of though is Jamie Foxx. He ain't the best comedian. Yeah. He's the best when it comes to sounding like everybody. And Eddie Murphy can do it too.
Yeah.
Real good at doing everybody's voice. He's good at doing people's voice.
I think that's key.
Eddie Murphy can do it.
I think the impression is key to doing a good stand-up, like roasting, like in the roasting sessions. That's key for the roasting, the impression. When I can do your impression whilst roasting you, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think
some of the greatest comedians are also great impersonators with their voices.
Yeah.
That's Jamie Foxx. That's Martin. That's Martin is good at kind of acting like other people. I don't know if he's as good as with changing his voice, but Jamie Foxx, Eddie Murphy, some of the best. Jay Pharoah's another one who's ridiculous with impersonations. I don't know if Jay Pharoah's comedy. Well, no, his comedy is starting to get sharper too. Jay Pharoah kind of becomes these people, man. So this, and I said that to say this, okay? We've seen a lot of talent, right? And we would like for those guys to be recognized on sheer talent alone. Isn't it unfortunate to think that in order for those guys to be seen and get their talent out there, that they have to do sick shit to do it? I mean, isn't that horrible, bro?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And they do it.
Hey, let me say something about
business too. We know that they do the music business real bad.
Let me say something about let me say something about this. The roles, like doing the gay roles or acting like a woman. I don't think it's necessary. I think the guys who run the industry, I think there are some I think it's immature. Like maybe they got their fantasies and they know that we want the money, so they make us play into the fantasies thinking that this is the way to get the money. You know? Because why would I try to make a heterosexual male act like a gay when there are so many gay actors in the industry? Why would I want a 200-pound 6-foot male to act like a female? What's the Norbit? Instead of getting like, there are so many plus size women. There are so many BBWs you can use in that role. Yeah, Respucia. There are so many BBWs you can put in that role and make her get some money, man. Come on. Why you gotta force a guy to do that? Or why does a guy gotta do that to go to the next stage in his career of being a comedian or actor or whatever?
Right. I could see it's just like you said. If a male actor, say like Ricky Smiley, he enjoys acting in a dress, okay, feature him. Other than that, get a woman for the position, but don't bend someone into doing a role that they're uncomfortable with, right? And also, like you said, if trying to play a gay role, why? When you have gay people out here who would love to play those roles and would be more comfortable.
Yeah, because you
always been around.
There we go.
They always been around. They could have.
I get it. I get it. It's one of those things, man. But like I said, it started off where, you know, white men played black actors, whether they were men or women, and they played white actors, whether they was men or women. They played them all. They would dress up as women, and they put black paint on their face to mimic a black guy. And you look back at these older movies,
and they're so
black paint on. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like we're still in that place where instead of giving other people opportunities, we'll just dress up as them, make them, and at the same time,
we'll just dress up. Yeah,
it's kind of insult though.
Like Kevin Hart said when he mentioned Ricky Smiley playing Lil Darren, that's a special needs person that you're mimicking to do a joke. You know, that's far
to do a joke.
Say what?
Yeah. Because, all right, all right. I can speak from a Jamaican point of view. I'm in Jamaica, so I can speak. You know the comedians now from the States that make it big, like all right, you know, remember when what's his name again? The one that went to the hospital the other day. What's his name? Jamie Foxx.
Yes.
Remember when Jamie Foxx was doing is it Shanae?
Yeah.
Shanae? All right, you got like a whole stream, like about 6 different guys in Jamaica doing a role in the Jamaican plays, like Shanae style. Like you got one called Girly, you got the Shabada, you got a couple of them. Well, yeah, that was doing. They copied the moonlighted the whole Shanae and the Martin Lawrence thing from that. And when they interviewed them, they say they watched the sitcoms from the 90s. Though, you know, they watch them sitcoms and they follow that. You know what I'm saying?
You're right. Yeah. So Jamie Foxx played Wanda. Martin played Shanae.
Martin, yeah, there we go. Jamie Foxx, yeah, Ugly Wanda, and Martin played Shanae. There we go. Thank you for the correction.
Yes, sir. But now think about this. Okay, so he mentioned Steve Harvey taking the Mr. Cooper idea, got it called now Mr. Hightower. Well, he's the principal, right? But
Mr. Hightower. The music teacher, yeah.
I remember that.
But think about this.
Yeah.
Didn't Jamie Foxx steal Will Smith's concept of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? So Will Smith moves from his
Fresh
hometown.
Prince of Bel-Air.
Right. So he moves to the mansion with his uncle, his aunt, and
Yes.
his cousins, right? Well, Jamie Foxx
Yeah.
moved to
Yeah.
the King's Tower, right? With his uncle and his aunt.
Yeah.
Neither one of them had parents.
There we go.
Will Smith was a rapper. He was a singer. They both was in the music industry. They both flirted with girls and chased women around. He was after fancy. These
Yeah.
So you can see these things.
Yeah, it's the same.
It's the same.
So Cedric, no, it's nothing wrong for Cedric to just admit it, man. That like, look, man, no lie, I stole a piece of his joke, but I, remixed it up with a spaceship. Nothing wrong with that. Admitting it. I think people would respect that more.
I'm gonna tell you something real quickly.
And I can't believe Kevin Hart actually ran an ad on him.
I'm gonna show you something real quickly. Look, so this is kind of like Cedric the Entertainer earlier when he said I never saw Katt Williams do a space shuttle joke. Mistress Forgiveness said, no, it wasn't Mistress Forgiveness though. So it was one of them that said, dang, I lost it. Somebody said, no, Jamie Foxx had a job. He ran the hotel, and Will Smith didn't have a job. That's one of the small differences. That's one of the small differences. Okay. But,
there's a small,
right,
it's a
small difference. But when we talk about all the things that are alike, which you can see how Jamie Foxx was inspired by the Will Smith show, right? I mean, we can see that. You got a black nerd in Carlton Banks, then you got a black nerd in Braxton Hardenberg.
And come on.
Living with his aunt and uncle.
Hey.
They're living better than he was living.
And you know what, too? In them times when we saw it, we actually saw it for ourselves, because when we watch it, we will be like, whoa, hold up. This kind of remind me of Fresh Prince in a way. It kind of have a similar thing. When we was young and was watching it at the time when they just came out, you know what I'm saying? Even the Katt Williams, even the Katt Williams joke with the Cedric. I remember when Katt Williams did it first, and I remember Kings of Comedy when he did it last, and I'm like, what the hell? This sounds like when it was fresh. We said, what the hell? This sounds like Katt Williams' joke.
Because I don't believe
Yeah, because them
do the same
Drake,
joke
do you have music in your background, Drake?
Yeah.
Drake, do you have music in your background?
Oh yeah, I think my little bro is playing his music in the background. I think I should go to the part where they don't know. Let me see if I can get it turned down a bit.
Okay.
Hold on.
Yeah, I did that joke for 7 years. I don't know if you were telling jokes back then. That you tell the joke that
Like,
same
come
joke
on,
that
cut
long.
the crap, right?
And I'm not gonna tell no joke that long. You let that those 7 years, everybody better heard it by now.
Right, come on, man, cut the crap, Cedric.
I do think that what you said though, as far as it being dangerous, it can be dangerous, because whenever you in a position to bring light to something that a lot of people are aloof to, and it's potentially exposing a lot of hired people, then that put a target on your back, and it also speaks to I feel like our level of docileness, because when we do hear about things like this come to light, I feel like we don't have no activity behind it. It's just like, oh my God, that was crazy. Let me talk about it with such and such, and then it's just another thing that get recycled.
Better.
Nah, you ain't never lied. But see, my biggest fear with this is that it's gonna be seen as so common that more people will be willing to do some of this horrible stuff to get ahead. If Katt Williams is saying that these homeless people would do this for just a sandwich or $1 or $2, it's not all guys are in a position that can change their life, right? I mean, he made it sound like, damn, they just out here giving head for just a couple of change and shit. That's crazy.
You know what? I think about, you're right, because I know when actors first start, they don't make that much but $5,000 or $10,000, especially if they had no experience or talent. So you just hoping you get on. But no, for real, you know, the new actors they don't get no residual income. You gotta be a top A-list at to get the 10 and 20. So like some actors on make like maybe like $5,000 or $10,000. Especially black ones. So they don't make a whole lot when they do those sets, and they probably don't get no money when the movie hit. And it might be a famous, do a big role, but they only got paid $10,000. And that's not worth a second. They hope you land big for a movie role. It's not.
None of it worth that, and it's sad. It should be some type of place you can report these people to. But again, they're at the top. They own the industry, man, and it's so sad that there's no way you can go. And I think gotta give up on your career, man. And to me, I would just give up. I give up on my career. I ain't going, bro.
And the thing about
it, going. Oh man, I ain't doing that.
We know it's a bad thing when the agency you with or in cahoots with the industry. You have to use their agents. It's like having your own doctors. You know, when the industry do it. So the agents don't have the best interest of the actor. They have the best interest of the company. That's who's paying them. Because it's kind of like having a lawyer, but it's not your lawyer. So I found what the agency.
It's not your lawyer.
Right. The agency is
it's the agency's lawyer. Yeah. Right. And you're working for the agency.
Right. Because so the agency don't got your best interest, like what you call it, suing for Empire, trying to get his money. He said only got paid like $10,000. So that ain't no money. And Empire's a good show.
Like, I think it's about a few people. If I heard Ice Cube did something homosexual, something to get ahead, that'll hurt my feelings. I don't know why I think him to be a.
Oh man, it would have shook me up, man. It would have shook me up.
I would hope not. That crushed me. It crushed me if Dave Chappelle did it.
It would crush me. Yeah, if Dave Chappelle did it, it would have crushed me.
Especially David Chappelle. Especially David Chappelle. I already been going against
Ice Cube. I got a lot of respect for Ice Cube. I always have, man. I would hate if he. It ain't even my business, but I would hate. I just would hate if he did it.
But you know what I think?
That's why I said I'm about.
I hope not too, but I know Katt Williams would probably call him out if he did think that. Though, trust me. But I don't think.
Yeah, I'm about to really unplug, bro. Like I don't know this type of truth.
He come back on Willie DTV, so you'll hear more of it. And this go viral again.
But again, guys, how common is this though? How common is it that we're seeing some celebrity, some known man being exposed for something like being gay or something like something embarrassing and humiliating? This is becoming so common. And if it's not that, then his talent ain't his because he stole from somebody else.
No. All right, let me show you. Let me show you something now.
Well,
the celebrities. I think the celebrities didn't transition well with the social media.
Yeah.
I think the celebrities didn't transition well with the social media. Because remember back in the days, certain things in the lifestyle, you would have to like know the celebrity or have cable to watch VH1 or whatever to see certain things in their lifestyles. But now the social media makes it easy, and the celebrities now, they're hungry for the attention, so they would pop up and go live every minute. If I was like the agency and I ran some artists, I would monitor the way how they go live and whatever, you know, and the access that the fans would have to the artists. Remember, it was limited back in the days. You'd have to know someone who knows someone who knows someone to know that that artist is actually gay or whatever.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah, now it's so easy because they're on live, actually telling it us.
Or anybody could lie on you. You know what I'm saying? So these devices are like weapons, man. Somebody can just get up here and say something, man. So you got these. They have to be careful who they're even around because it may not even be true. And goodness.
There we go.
Like if P. Diddy is as disgusting as they saying this man is, Katt Williams is putting himself in danger by even naming them. And my brother was talking about this, right? And he was like, "Well, if it's some sick Illuminati shit, is Katt Williams trying to protect himself by saying a lie? And if something happens to him, it'll kind of be obvious. But my thing is, he says so many names, and if something happens to him, you would just speculate over who could have possibly done it, especially with him naming somebody like Diddy, who they say is dangerous already. So to me, it's kind of, I don't know if it's foolproof to come out here and say, I got this information, so the Illuminati. I don't think they give a damn.
You see, the thing is, it's so simple. If they do something to Katt Williams, then we know it's true. So in order, they're trying to do it like the Bible, man. The scriptures that tell you that you don't do anything to him, and then we won't believe. But if you do something to him, we gonna know it's true why you did something to him. So Katt Williams speak with that. He knows that. That's why I tell you, God is his protection, because he got the scriptures that tell you that when we speak the truth, they can't do nothing to us. But if they do something to us, yeah, I would be a sacrifice to let the people know that, hey, it's true. That man sucked whatever he sucked to get his role. That man did whatever he did to get his role.
But the truth about it is,
do you think it'll change? Do you think that if something happens to Katt and all of a sudden we go, he must have been telling the truth?
Yes, we gonna think that.
Yeah, that's
hell no.
Hell no.
It ain't gonna change. Nope, it ain't gonna change. They're gonna keep doing the same shit.
Exactly, and that's my point. That's why I say they don't care. Nothing will change. Pop was speaking out. He lost his life. You could say that was confirmation. Michael Jackson would say they trying to kill me. He lost his life. You could say that was confirmation.
Yep.
That's why I made that song called "Niggas Know." We know the world we live in, and we're not doing anything about changing it. We don't even have to fight. All we got to do is work together, and we refuse to do even that, bro. Like we do. You think at some point we say, "Fuck it, let's not try and access our wealth through them anymore. Let's do it through each other. We the ones with the talent. So let's put our minds together and understand more of what it takes to be able to control our own industries, man." But right now, athletes,
definitely,
every useful talent that Black people are bringing to the scale is making us the most profitable product, but none of us are in control of ourselves as a product at all.
Definitely.
Because you see this happening in athletes. Chad Johnson still believes he can play. Terrell Owens still believes they can play. But you don't have any control of power, regardless of how much strength you still feel like you have in the tank. It's a scary place, man.
Because if you look at one thing I like about Ice Cube story is Ice Cube did throw a big hint. It wasn't a hint, but he just told the truth. He was saying, I put people on and help their career, but I can't get nobody to put me on their stuff that I help. Nobody can return the favor. And that is a problem. Because Ice Cube have tried to do things for people, but it is sad that you see Ice Cube try to do things for himself, and he have hurt a lot of Black people get on, and I agree. But those Black people won't come and do a favor or anything, or anybody offer me. Like I said, I'm available to act. I still act. But it's kind of like also that the way Ice Cube talk, I got a lot of respect for Ice Cube because I understand Ice Cube said he trying to do good thing, but I guess Ice Cube realizing seeing is that the people who trying to help is not getting much respect back from him. Okay, what Ice Cube is being a prominent figure where he is, you would think a lot of people he help, and a lot of other people would say, "Hey man, let's get this going." Because Ice Cube are trying to use his voice and power to help build up some type of thing to help their own people. But as you can see, Ice Cube is not getting enough feedback. Black people could have their own Hollywood. They don't have to put up with this stuff. What I'm saying? They could have their own, because we got a lot of great Black actors that don't need to go beg the white man for a job, because look at the support that Katt Williams has. People willing to, their names out there, people willing to spend, they want to do some film stuff or whatever. People are willing to support them or do something. If you really think about it, the people pay for talent.
Yeah, I think this is reflected not just in the music industry or the entertainment industry, but just in major corporation industry and in America industry as well. Like with the senseless killings of cops killing people, and people just be like, "Dang, that's crazy." It's like this is a known thing. Not even with just that, even knowing that they allow chemicals in your food that they know are cancerous, but they will not change it. And we know this, but what are we gonna do about it? It's like this elephant is in every last room that we go in.
Grow your own food. Buy some land and grow your own food. That's one way.
Everywhere we look is telling us to be more independent and tap into our resource and work together, because all other nations work together, but we the only people that I feel like be so it's so hard to bring. I don't know what's wrong with us, but
it's not
at
hard.
Some point, man, at some point we gotta do
it. We are unfortunately so ill-equipped, because I don't want to say we're lazy, but we're putting our energy into the hamster's wheel versus nature. So we hop in our cars, we ride past all this land and fruit trees and things like that to go get a job and then go to pay for food. When we could really just put our labor into planting in our own yards, right? Growing our own foods and fishing out of our own lakes and hunting out of our own woods. And we wouldn't need the government so much, but they got us so removed from that. And if you go back in time, man, imagine how much stronger we would be just in our physical bodies if we had to wake up every day and go hunting. Just the hills you have to climb, just the terrain alone, we would be that much stronger. But we're not. We are weaker now than ever. And I think even our minds are. We like to think that we are evolving. But I say that we created brains outside of our bodies than these computers, and our memory is now shorter. And now we rely on these computers for far more than we ever did. So I think that we are weaker mind, body, and soul because of these devices, man. Because we could truly join together and say, let's plant our own foods and let's trade together. Let's work together. And say, if you make black soaps, we'll buy all of our soaps from you. If this person makes this lotion or this hair product, and we can stay out of these supermarkets as much as possible to truly cycle the wealth around. But again, tackling some of these issues may not require us going to war. They just require us taking control of our own life, which we will not do. And that's the sad part. The king said that they even give us food that they know is poisonous. Well, we could complain with the FDA, we could march about it, or we could simply change our diets. And we won't even do that, bro. And that's why I said niggas know, but they don't care enough to make the changes. I think that we've given up. I think we're docile. You know, I've made the changes to my own personal life, and I think that that's where we all should start. But on a large scale, we are not relooking at our diets. We are not readjusting to what should be natural for our bodies. We still wake up and the first thing we do is eat egg fetuses or chicken fetuses and a slice of a pig's ass. And we call that breakfast because they put it on a food pyramid and told us what was food for us. And I look at it like we are domesticated because we go buy a dog's food and they eat whatever we put in the tray without reading it. But we eat whatever they give us without reading the backs of it.
Fact.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
We look at the backs of it.
Animals.
Most of it is words we can't pronounce, and we eating it anyway. We don't even know what it is. We know in processed food like kibbles and bits. We know food don't come shaped like that. You know, so we don't know how to get it out of the ground. We don't know how to make grain from the rice plant. We don't know how to do these things in a natural way. And that's why I say, even if we were to all pack up and leave this country, we wouldn't survive. We don't know how to survive. It's sad, man. It's like we're zooed animals. We all want to be freed from the zoo, but we wouldn't survive in the wild if we tried.
Yeah, we're trying to kill each other.
Right,
For food.
and
That's why I
also-
say, can we ever get our strength back? Like the dog was once the wolf. Can we ever? You got to think, how much have we been domesticated over the years that we are nowhere near who we truly were? And can we go back to that? Can the dog go back to being the wolf? And I don't think so. I don't know. I hate to say I don't have hope, but from what I see, we're not changing, bro. We're not changing. What's your thought?
Yeah, and I also think that a lot of our illnesses that we have could be prevented as well. So many ways that we could prevent certain diseases, and we refuse to do it. We have, especially when it comes to Black families, we have to practically beg our loved ones to go to see the doctor or find different holistic approaches to cure, not just suppress, but cure certain symptoms and cure ourselves. And we just refuse to do so because we're so accustomed to what tastes good and what we think is good for us. And then we want to complain, and then we sit around and want to depend on others to care for us. And it's like, okay, that's kind of selfish to me, because it's like you knew what you needed to do to prevent yourself from being in this condition, but you refuse to do so because you're so stubborn about it and saying that I don't need to see no doctor. I'm not changing my habits. I'm not changing this. I'm not going to stop smoking. All these other things. But now that you're in the condition that you're in, now you need someone to care for you, where all this could have been avoided in the first place.
You're right. Look, if you go back to our ancestors, they would be saying to us, you can't grow a plant, you can't grow herbs, you can't preserve. They would be utterly shocked if they were to get out of their graves and see how much we've lost with nature, with understanding nature. If they would ask us, you can't even grow a tomato plant, you can't even start a garden, we would say,
right,
Granny, I can't even cook. Just think about this. On a large scale, most of us can't even do basic survival, can't even cook. Now, this is crazy because this goes for men and women. I think it's sad when an adult says, I can't cook. I think that's crazy because your own survival is based on you eating and you can't cook. Now, I have a grandmother who made sure we knew how to cook. So maybe I'm saying it from a position of, of being raised in that. She also did preserves. I forgot a lot of that. We wasn't really paying attention to that, but I can definitely cook damn near anything. And as a man, I can cook. And so I find it shocking when a woman says she can't cook and she's an adult, but I find it shocking when a grown man says that. So, I mean, a lot of us would be telling our ancestors we can't even cook, let alone we can't grow our own food. Like we have no clue. We're so removed from the natural world. And that's why I say we're pets. In our mind, we are survivors, but we cannot survive. We are in the matrix. And so we liken that to survival, but you can't call survival going to a supermarket and buying an animal that's already been killed for you. You can't call survival going to the supermarket and buying a bag of green beans. You ain't plucked a single one of them damn things. Like I'm dead serious. Until we say I'm willing to learn this, man, and plant our own food, start there. Maybe even learn to hunt, learn to fish. You understand? Like that's one of the things that my family puts into practice is trying to live off the earth to some degree. Plant some potatoes, plant your herbs first, the peppers, your sage, your different spices you're gonna need. But again, learn to fish. Back in the day, we ate what was in season. We fished in the winter and hunted in the summer. You understand? So all food wasn't accessible all year round. In this fake matrix world, you can always go get fish. You can go get Chilean sea bass from Chile. You could get Alaskan something from Alaska. And I think that's why we're sick. The frequency in that food is different. It's from the other side of the planet, and you're eating that food. Even fruits and vegetables, when they ship it in from Florida and you're eating it, and you live all the way in Nebraska, your frequency, that's not the earth that you need to eat the food that came out of your earth. Back in the day, there was no shipping of food. You had to live off your land. So the fact that you can access pears from Guatemala and you're wondering why you feel sick, is you're throwing your frequency.
Your nutritional values change.
And it loses its nutritional value as it's in the process of being shipped. It's sitting on, it gets shipped by them. It gotta get there. Then it gotta get unloaded. Then it gotta get out to the store.
Hey,
then
Kevin,
you gotta come shop
for
and
now,
grab
buddy.
it.
Thank y'all.
Okay, yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Well, thanks, King.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, you guys have a good night as well. I appreciate you letting me up. I appreciate the discussion.
It was a pleasure having you. Have a strong mind. Please come back up at your next opportunity, okay?
Yeah, I will.
Thank you. Well, what were you saying, King? Joe Will?
Yeah, man, I was saying the process, by the time it gets to on your table or your cutting board or wherever, it's lost so much of its life force that essentially you eating dead food. It's on its deathbed by the time it get to your crib.
Yeah, or it's a carcass. You're in a morgue. When you walk into Walmart and you're getting your food, you walk into essentially a morgue of cold animal parts that's sitting there chilled for you. And if you got to think about this, I watched this. I started doing this some years ago after I had my stomach removed and I couldn't eat. I'm sitting there watching videos of other people eat. I don't know why that soothed me, but it did. But so forth and so on. Once you watch so many of those videos, it starts showing you like butcher videos of them breaking down like a whole cow or whatever. And I would watch them. They're very interested. And so I got to see how to skin the hide and cut out the chops and separate the different meats and stuff like that, the different muscle strains. It's pretty amazing to learn that. And I guess it gives you some insight into a little bit more of the process of your food. But I mean, putting it to action is a whole different story. You understand what I'm saying? So we used to go out and hunt that animal and bring it back and do all that ourselves. And that knowledge is what gave us independence. You're not going to be able to access. I don't believe we can access that type of independence unless we go back to nature. And I think that's where our freedom lies, is in understanding the ground, the earth around us, Mama Nature, and we've gotten away from her.
Your body come from nature. The word
Absolutely.
heart and the word earth is really the same word. It's it's called typoglycemia, or I forget the name of the other way that it's when the words are jumbled up. But basically, you are the reflection of nature. Therefore, you should feed the body the minerals.
Anagram is the word you're looking for.
Anagram, that's the word. Yep. But we are essentially earth, and we need to eat from earth. It makes sense. I'm not religious, but even in the Bible, it says they tell you this. If y'all really believe what the Bible is saying, if y'all really religious, it says what your food is in there. I feel like it say eat from the fruit should be your meat. It said to eat the herbs are for the healing. So I feel like, and even dealing with history and how, with Thanksgiving, and I feel like before those people came over here, we knew the land. We were growing food. We were getting our own food. Now, all of a sudden, we go from growing our own food to going to a grocery store. So, like you said, we have devolved away from nature, and I feel like we paying for that with disease and sickness.
This is why, and lack of power and lack of independence, because he who controls the food controls the man, controls the world. You understand?
Yep.
So, you think about how they say Columbus came here and he saw the natives here growing grain. He began to trade with them, right? He wanted access to that grain.
Right.
As soon as he was in control of it, that's when he was in control of the people, and so our independence is truly in the earth, man. It truly is. If we're not willing to go back and learn all that stuff, we're doomed, because we're always going to be on the outside looking in with our hands out. And we learned this during COVID. You could only go in the store and get one of each item. Toilet tissue was gone.
They limited it. That was crazy. Like the fact that they got a movie called The Platform that really plays on that as well. But
yeah, it's a good ass movie. You're right.
That people was buying up everything, and the fact that they could limit the amount of things you could purchase shows you your freedom, because it's like, wait, hold on. You can say I can just get 3. Okay, how much? What about when they say you can only get 1 bag of apples? 1 apple, 1 grape, one, like they can limit the amount of things you can buy. So it's like, why not take control of that? Like Henry Kissinger said, if you could control a person's food, you could control their mentality, because he understood the science behind your biology and the biology of food and how it plays on your psychology. They put drugs in the food to make you addicted to the food that kills you. I believe that's so diabolical. And when I talk to my people about it, I be so passionate, because it's like the truth is evident, but people are so deep in their own state of psychosis, and they're comfortable where they at, that they so addicted to the food now that they don't even want to stop.
You're right. And the food that I was about to rewrite your words and say it differently, but you already said it. They are addicted. Their body feels like it needs that thing. And so it's a diet is unheard of for them. The right foods are not as good. And so we're living for a desire, serving our devil, serving our double, our fleshly version of self. And this is what we try to tell a lot of people. The concept of religion is referring to God as your higher being, your spiritual self, and the devil as your lower being. If you serve the devil, then you are serving flesh. So you live for taste, you live for the sensation. So you'll be more of a person who is moved by your flesh, right? You like sex without knowing the person. You care more of the act of sex than the quality of the individual. You'll care more about the taste of food than the actual nutritional value of what you're eating. And we know that the world is a big lie. That's why they say the devil is a liar. What tastes good and sweet to you is actually poison to your body. We live in a twilight zone. And so a man must develop discipline and mental fortitude in order to change his diet, because you've already been domesticated. It's too late. You already have a taste for poison. So you have to actually fight to go against that to be able to earn your health back. You got to get out here, start planting your food to be able to earn your freedom. I'm telling you guys, when they say money does not grow on trees, these things have been said to psychologically manipulate your mind, because money does grow on trees. That is fruit, that's food. If you got to use money to buy fruit and food, then money does grow on trees. If you grow your own food, that means you got your own bank, you got your own source of income, because you don't have to go buy your food. It literally grows out of the ground. And so I always say we're still in the Garden of Eden, and we've been tricked by the devil to believe that we have to work for our food. The only work that we must do for our food is by contributing back to nature. Okay, doing our part to grow that food out of the ground. But food is free, man. It does not cost you. So we are in a free world, but we are convinced that we have to pay for food. So we go get on the hamster's wheel to earn paper money and then go trade that for food. And that's why I say humans are funny to me. We claim to be the most intelligent, but you couldn't trick a squirrel into doing that shit.
You know what I call it, Kevin? I say food by the food. You've been fooled by the food. You believe.
Oh my gosh.
You believe that the food that you eating is food, therefore you have been fooled into your own demise. I feel like we are afraid of nature now. Like I have an apple tree that's not too far from where I stay, and the apples was growing. They look so healthy. I took them down, I cleaned them, and I ate them, and they taste better than the ones in the grocery store. Told my brothers about it, and they were kind of skeptical of eating the apple. But you don't never second guess that apple in that grocery store when you know they sprayed that with pesticides and insecticides that have atrazine and all other type of chemicals on there. So you afraid of nature, but you're comfortable with the grocery store. So we've been reverse engineered psychologically.
There's a line in one of my songs. I said, we pass on and rest in peace because we got grandmama's food. We pass on our recipes because we got grandmama's food, right? We pass on and rest in peace because we still eating grandmama's food. The ham hocks, the pork, and all the things that she made taste so good through her struggles, but it is not good. We talk about how talented we are, how we made that food taste good and a delicacy, but it is not good for you. And so I don't care how much love you put into that food, it's still poison. So we pass on in recipes because they got grandmama food. They had her food. They had her believing what she was serving was healthy, but it wasn't. And because we got her resting recipes, that's all we seem to pass on. Not land, not resources. We seem to pass on recipes. And through the ongoing cycle of repeating that, we die of the same sicknesses. And that's why you hear so many of us dying of diabetes, because it's in the food. It's not in our genetics. It's in our food. It's in our lifestyle. So we really have to change it, man. And that's why I always say be the change you want to see. And change is not easy. You have to change yourself. We're so easy to point fingers and judge everybody else when the goal should be change yourself. And I said this, man, if everybody was to be proactive about changing themselves, there would be no homeless. There would be no poor. There would be no struggling. And there would be very little sick. Let's be real.
I agree.
Again, where we are everywhere on the map, guys, the sun hits you from a certain degrees, a certain temperature. This changes the earth that you walk on and everything around you, the rain and everything around you. When you eat from where you live, you will be healthier because all the food around you has the same frequency code as you do, because y'all all on the same earth, the same area of sun. When you ordering your food from across the planet, you put that food in your body, it does change your body's chemistry. This is not a joke. It's not even about, at that point, it's not about the calories or anything. And this is what lowers your immune system and makes you more susceptible to being sick. And you got to think of how often we do this. We just order fish from the fish spot. We don't know where the fish came from. When we go to the grocery store and get our food, they don't say it was natural grown, locally grown. It's from somewhere else. They shipping this stuff in here. So that's why I say we got to control our diets the best we can. You're not going to be able to do this overnight. It's not even the season to growing plant right now, but I challenge every one of you guys to first go buy a small plant if you don't know how to plant your own seeds, but buy the sprout, start from there, and then start replanting the seeds. In fact, when you guys buy fruit from here on out, look up videos on how to replant that seed. That's what me and my wives did, my family did. We started looking up what to do with the avocado plant and or seed once we eat. And these things are very simple. We would just sit them by the door, by a window, and just put them in water, and we would see it work. So there's so many different videos that's showing us, but we're ignoring them. We're just watching girls shake their ass. We need to start paying attention to, how we survive, man, and start planting some of these seeds. I'm telling you guys, it may be challenging, but try it. Seriously, man. Like I said, start with growing some smaller things. We definitely got potatoes back there, carrots, because they grow in abundance, man. You can make so many meals out of those. You know what I mean? So just in case something happens, at least you got access to food. We got deer deer around us all the time. We got a huge lake in the back full of fish. So I try to say move near a resource. Like get you a house with a lake near it so you can go fishing off the land. But try to find a way to get out of the matrix as much as you can. Because as long as you got to go work for your food and you driving past fruit trees, you are a pet. And I hate to say that to offend, but sometimes it takes you saying that seriously to joke people into waking up. That you're no different than a dog to these people. When you eat food that they just serve you, you're no different than an animal. You trust master that much. You trust him that much. You just pour that into a bowl and eat it. It's unreal, man. Like
Just
I said,
because it's on the plate. Go ahead, Kevin.
Do you find out they got us getting our milk from beasts, y'all? We don't even need milk.
I think if people will watch the videos, if they'll watch videos on how these things were made, they would be swayed to not continue to participate in eating it or consuming it. Like when I went through I don't eat meat. I haven't ate meat in like five years. But through the process of me doing that, I had to learn first I had learned that I was addicted to eating meat, because when I tried to stop, I couldn't. Then I actually wanted to see what was the process of the food going through before it got to me. I didn't like what I saw. That helped. So I feel if people would look and research at what their food is actually going through, they wouldn't want to eat it. They wouldn't want to consume it. Milk is blood and pus. It's the lactation of a whole different species. You're not supposed to put that in your mouth. They lied and said if it feeds your bone calcium, it actually stripped calcium from your bones. So it's like everything that they gave you, information-wise, education-wise, spiritually or religiously, they have given you the opposite version of what you were supposed to get to survive or thrive. Not to survive, but to thrive. I feel we've been surviving when we should be thriving. And we've been so stuck in a state of survival that's all we know how to do. So I feel like that's where we've been vibrating for the longest of time. But I do feel like a change is coming. I feel like I want it to happen faster. I recently did like a 21-day fruit and vegetable only challenge on my Instagram, Joe Will for real, JOWIL, the number 4 and real. And I got some of my people to join in on it just to be more aware of what they putting in their body, and to see when you put the highest fuel in your body, the change of your mental state, the clarity that you have, the peace internally that comes with it. Like food has emotional intelligence. Fruit and vegetables, they give you emotional intelligence. They are actual sentient beings. So it's like you're eating a high volume food, so it puts you in a high volume of vibrant space. So I think, like you said, being the change that you want to see will help to basically make the change, because when people see you doing better, you ultimately show them the flaws within their self or the stagnation of themselves, and that makes them want to do better as well. So
you're absolutely correct. And guys are asking this: are you young Pharaoh? You do kind of have his tonality. But no, this is not young Pharaoh, guys. This is Joe Will.
They say that all the time, bro. They say that all the time.
Yeah, I can hear it. I can definitely see why they say that. You guys have similar cadence and vernacular is similar as well. I think that's a compliment. Young Pharaoh, he's not doing so well now, but he was a very intelligent guy. So
I'm definitely hip to him. I'm definitely hip to him. I tapped into him with his information probably like 3 years ago. And 3 or 4 years ago, I got into him. But
yeah, he does sound like him, guys. You definitely do.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I take it as a compliment, man, because they definitely say that all the time. They like, is that young Pharaoh? I'm like, man, no. But you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You actually,
but no, man, you're very knowledgeable, and we can do a whole build on that subject, and not to, obviously that's something that needs to be talked about, but not to drift too far from that subject. I want to bring everybody back home with understanding the depth of what Katt Williams was saying. Is that, to me, I see it as this industry is very dangerous. And I would challenge you guys to make sure your children are very well aware of some of those things that go on, and encourage them to do it independently, maybe even help them, invest with them. If they say they want to be an actor, maybe you start filming them and you start getting other people in your neighborhood who film or something like that. But I just think that they're taking advantage of our youth. They're taking advantage of our men. It's sad. And they're taking advantage of the women. If they're doing this to men, they're doing it to women. So it's something that we really have to keep our eyes open about. Again, it is the entertainment industry, and it's not something we should even be focused on to that degree. But when it's something like that, we're talking about real people's lives, really truly being humiliated and things of that nature. It's one thing for somebody to do something that sick to get ahead, but it's a whole different story for somebody to make that an option for them. And that shouldn't even be an option, man.
Right.
And it's like, could you imagine your daughter going to get a job and the man unzipping his pants and saying, you got to do this to get the job? Like, man, that's not a world any of us should want to live in. That's not a world that men should have to face. It's sad, bro. These people are sick.
Yeah, that's sexual assault.
Right. And like I said, it should be more. It should be something that as soon as we heard that, the focus should have been on the people who own these places, the perpetrators of this nonsense. Not so much as you know he sold it, so he bent over, so he lame. No, who asked this man to do that? Why is that an option?
Right. People be so starstruck with the aspect of celebrities that they overlook the important things. I feel like fame is basically just the concentration of light from a group of stars, which is what you would call a constellation. When that group of stars focus their light on one star, that create a star, or what you would call a celebrity. So I believe that we create the celebrities by focusing our light on them, and then we magnify their life. This is the reason why we get so caught up, because we lose sight in the light that we have within ourselves. So if we would snap out of it, I feel like we would be able to, critically look at things and not get so caught up in the miscellaneous, non-important stuff. Like really what he's speaking on is really real, because it happens on all levels of industry, not just music, not just acting, not just like in every level of industry. There's some form of deviant behavior that they have to, like, somebody in some way, shape, or form at some point in time have to come in interaction with, just to live their life and do the profession that they chose to do. And that's wrong.
It is, man. And like I said, guys, keep your eyes open, because I'm seeing it everywhere from the football player who was getting the massages and he was sleeping with his masseuse. That got publicized to the NBA coach who was sleeping with one of his assistants or something like that. The fraternization, he was mentioned, she wasn't. I'm seeing everywhere where men are being painted to be deviants and perverts and pedophiles and all of that. And if it's true, so be it. The truth needs to be made known. But I'm thinking that it's like a season for just open targets on men, and they're using social media to do it. It seems that all these stories tend to be revealed through some type of interview, man. It's unreal. And that's why I say, don't operate in the realm of belief. It's not healthy for anybody. Don't ever succumb to belief. Always chase down what you say, with what you hear, with proof and with research. Because like I say, they say in all things get an understanding. Don't just take anybody's response for anything, guys. Like I said, it's okay to be convinced, but don't believe in any of this. Again, if you weren't there, if somebody's saying something to you, has you believing in what they're saying, they put you under a spell, and it's too much of that. Let's take back our mental independence. I don't think we need to believe in anything that the man said, but we got to keep our eye open. And obviously, I'm convinced of most of what he said. Before we end this, I want to ask, what are some things you don't believe? Like, for instance, I don't believe he can do 100 push-ups a day. I don't believe that. I don't believe that physical exercise is something that's high on his priority list. It's not a shot at him, but he seems to be more cerebral than, I would say he's out of balance. He's more cerebral than he is physical, right? That's what you would call so spiritual that earthly good. You can tell in his physical frame, and you're not going to do 100 push-ups a day and lose a fight with a preteen, right?
Yeah, I highly doubt that.
Right, me too. I just doubt that. I doubt that he had all those conversations with the homeless men and they're sucking penis in the woods. I think that was just colorful. I think that the things he said about Steve Harvey were true, but they were more insulting than anything. Talking about his hairline.
He said he looked like Mr. Potato Head too.
Yeah, so and then what's his name looked like a walrus. So I say it's a lot mixed in there. But I do believe the brother. I am convinced of the brother that his bars were stolen, his jokes were stolen. I would be highly offended if I were him. I'd be highly offended knowing that in trying to go get parts, someone's asking me, can they give me head? And I understand the part is based on whether I allow them to do that or not, or whether I'm willing to do whatever thing they ask me to do. That is sick, man. And that shouldn't require somebody being mad at you for you to reveal it. That's what I say. Right. If they all know that this is happening, then they should all get together and stop that shit. It's more. I would say it's more actors than them. And if it ain't no more movies at all, it just won't be no more damn movies, because we ain't giving head no more. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, fuck movies, bro. If that's the case, right?
Oh, bro.
Yeah,
it's crazy to even think that that's something that they doing, but it's like you said, if you got kids or if you aspire to delve into this lane or this profession, if this is something or a hurdle or something like that that you will have to jump over or get through, this need to be addressed because it's just not right in any field of profession. That should never be something that you got to deal with ever.
Now we the people, okay? If we were to say the same way we support blood diamonds and the enslavement of foreigners to mine caves for the same things we put in our cell phones, as much as we support those things inadvertently by buying the products,
right?
We're doing that by watching the movies, right? What if we said our only power is to turn away, is to give up on these things, right? We're no longer watching the movies, we're no longer going to your cinemas. As the people, we're not going because of how you're doing the actors. Because I mean, how can we truly enjoy a movie, a show, knowing that they potentially had to do some of the worst shit to get that opportunity, right?
Right.
Do you think we have any control if we stop watching these movies? Because if they're not making the money off these movies anymore, wouldn't that force them to change?
I mean, I feel like it would force them to change, but it's really it really will show the effect of the control that they have on our attention. Because even with things like shorts or reels, TikTok, it's all to reel you in, to get you addicted to the quick stimuli of scrolling. Like I'm a victim to it too, bro. Like sometimes I look up and I'm like, damn, I was just scrolling on this phone for 35 minutes, like and 35 minutes is gone so quick. So I feel like even if we was to not watch movies, it like when it comes to technology, I feel like they got us. Like everybody has an iPhone. In a movie iRobot, everybody had a iRobot. Now everybody has an iPhone. You have everything, your information plugged into this phone. It's your location is pinged. The phone listens. It listens to you and gives you an algorithm based off what you say. Like I feel like when it comes to technology, I feel like there's a huge hold on our attention, and I really don't know, man. As far as like us detaching from that, it's very, very hard. Because even if we stop watching movies, we would still engage in some way, shape, or form in what you were saying about the minds and the technology, as far as the crystals that they use to make the iPhones that we buy. Like, people not finna stop using these phones. They not finna stop. We not finna, like, I don't know, man. Like I feel like it gotta be a dawn of awakening. Everybody gotta like wake up and pull the plug out the back of their head. And it's hard for my people. I'm trying to tell them to stop putting stuff in their mouth that ain't food. That sounds like what you tell babies.
Let alone stop putting things in their eye gate and ear gate, right? I did a video on that, man. Some of the first things we see when we do when we wake up is look at our phones. And for a lot of young men, I'd be like, this is why a lot of young men cannot shape their destinies and find good wives and create families, because early in the rise, the first things that's happening is their vibration is being lowered with seduction. You can't scroll without seeing somebody's fat, juicy ass twerking on the screen, and now your mind think about something totally different. And for me, I'm thinking about the man who's trying to manifest a wife. How can he do that and look for a woman with morals whenever he's thinking about sex? Because I mean, when you scroll, it just, hey man, it puts your mind there, and that kills like a lot of your motivation throughout the day as well. So I try to challenge young men that I counsel to not get on social media first thing in the morning, and also discontinue following those sites. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but if you're on Instagram, Facebook, or whatever, man, women can be showing you the whole inside of their ass, and it's acceptable. They don't flag that shit at all.
That's facts.
And they damn near flag any other damn thing, but they'll let that happen. And I'm telling you, for us grown men, it might be fun. We get to see all this ass, but to your sons, that shit ain't healthy, bro. You know, when I was a kid, man, you had to search high and low to see some nudity, bro. Like our magazines we had, you searching high and low trying to see a nipple. You know what I mean? And if you stay up late trying to watch TV, but you got to look through all those lines. You know what I mean? So
right,
it wasn't everywhere you looked. Now, man, it's billboards got breasts on it and ass on it. They using women to sell cars and cheeseburgers.
Oh yeah, most definitely overly sexualized.
Overly. So how can a man see value in the woman if she's over sexualized, and then he is over sexualized as well? You know, it's truly sad, bro. Like, so women in large part say they want the respect that they deserve, but far too often they are contributing to women being sexualized with the way they dress. They'll go out with their whole ass out and expect you to walk up to them and treat them with dignity. It's like they expect you to have class when they won't. So they go out dressed any kind of way, but they expect you to not ogle them. It's unreal because it's like, you know, you could have done a little bit more work to put more clothes on, but in their mind, you should control yourself.
Right. I dress how I want. You can control yourself. Don't like it's like, I feel like it's just energy. You gotta, if you don't want a certain reaction, don't like, if you dress, for example, if it's in the middle of the night, I got on all black in a ski mask and I come knocking at your door, you gonna think I'm a burglar. So why would I dress a certain way knowing that I would give off a certain impression if I don't want to give off that certain impression?
You're right.
So
and if you talk to them about it, they'll act aloof. This just makes me feel more comfortable, more sexy. And I'm like, you know that they've tricked you guys into being essentially naked, and women are more comfortable nowadays naked than vulnerable. Like, they're more comfortable wearing very little to nothing than being honest about how they feel and what they want from you. And that's sad when you're more comfortable naked than vulnerable. I say that a lot of times, and women often get offended by that. They hate when I say that, but it's true, man. Before a woman truly tell you how she feel about you, she'll show you her whole ass. You understand? I've seen men sleep with the whole woman, sleep with her, and then she's scared to tell him she got feelings for him. So that means you're more comfortable fucking than being vulnerable.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, it's the being vulnerable is supposed to come first. You're supposed to be able to look people in the eyes, the person you like in the eyes, and tell them how you feel about them before you're smashing. You see what I'm saying? But we got to the point to where we can have sex without even kissing now. And like I said, even in school, sex is taught from a pleasure base rather than understanding that it's holy. It's actually holy. You are committing really blasphemy when you have sex simply for pleasure, because you're wanting to do this act that creates life, but you're going to take all the necessary precautions to not create life. We're so dishonest with the universe or God, you know. And that's why I say we should all practice discipline. But I mean, that's a whole nother conversation. But I can say this, man. If a man is out showing his body to the point to where he's showing his penis or his penis print to a certain degree where he's trying to, he's a pervert. But if women go out showing their whole ass, they're not perverts. You're the pervert for staring at them. And that's something.
Yeah, that's like reverse psychology.
If a woman goes out and shows you her titties, right? She's not the pervert, you are. But if a man go out and show his dick, he's the pervert. She ain't.
Right. It's like that double standard. Like, I don't agree with double
standard. He's always the pervert. The moral of the story. He's always the pervert, right?
Right. It's on the flip side, I feel like when it comes to like even with men being vulnerable and like crying and stuff like that, it's like it's less socially acceptable. So men generally keep that type of stuff bottled in, but like suppression breeds depression. And if you don't express that, then you just be continuously downwardly in a downward spiral of depression. And I feel like it's just the weird double standards that the society has set up. It's just like that. That's how it goes, unfortunately, until we can, upgrade our perspectives on that.
Right. If I think if you would cover your child's eyes, if you saw an adult do this thing, then that person who's doing that thing is perverted. If a woman is showing her titties, right, at Mardi Gras, whatever the case may be, whatever the case, she right up the road showing them, you would cover your kid's eyes. So that woman is perpetrating that act does not care that your kids are there, whatever. So they're revealing themselves in public. It should be a crime just like it is for a man to do it. I mean, you see what I'm saying?
Right. I agree.
Because you have to speak for the children, the adolescents, and not what you want to see. Like, do I mind seeing a boob? Nah, I don't mind. But my children, I would mind for my children to see that. I don't want my kids seeing that. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things where it's became socially acceptable for for women to be able to reveal their bodies and show their bodies, and men have to turn a blind eye and act like they don't see that shit. And I said it would be funny, man, if when women went out dressed half naked, if guys stared at them as long as they wanted to and slobbered as much as they want to, with no regard if it made her feel uncomfortable. And I think that would learn them a lesson, and they'd stop going out dressed like that. Because the man would be essentially saying, if you can wear what you want, I can look where I want, right?
Right.
So if she walks by if she walks in the mall and she has this little bit of nothing on, if every man just stopped and just watched her walk by like this, she would start to feel nervous, like, why everybody staring at me? And they should just keep staring. Because what she's expected to do is look like that, but you pretend you don't see all that.
Right. Like, and I honestly feel like as men, women naturally attract our attention regardless. So if you gonna be dressed with less clothing and more revealing, then you just you increasing the volume of attention that you get, because you done took off mode. They already mentally undressing you. So you gonna make it even worse by barely putting on clothes, and you making a job easier. Now they really staring at you, and it can make it an uncomfortable environment, I feel like. So it just don't do that.
In the grand scheme of things, here's what's happening. They are saying that the woman's sexuality is a beautiful thing, but they're saying that the man's sexuality is a horrible demonic thing. And so this is why they encourage the woman's sexuality. Wear what you want, feel as beautiful as you want. They discourage the man's sexuality. Don't look at her butt. You look too long. Watch how you speak to her. Don't try to come on to her. Don't walk up to her and talk to her. Don't only be with one woman. They want to discourage a man's actual sexuality, his natural sexuality, but they will encourage a woman. So that's why I say they're creating a very imbalanced world. You understand?
Oh, yeah.
Men feel like they can't express their sexuality at all. They can't be masculine as they like to be. They can't even approach women anymore without her feeling offended. But she can walk. They got all these beauty products for her to enhance her beauty and speak to her beauty. But a man, on the other hand, his masculinity is truly criticized and critiqued.
Oh yeah,
it's scary, man.
I feel like it's. We used to read from right to left. Now we read from left to right. I feel that like psychologically, like I said, it's reverse engineered. It's like the remote control will never get the connection to the TV if you switch the batteries the wrong way. And I feel that they switched the batteries the wrong way. So there is no longer like they're disconnecting us from a certain aspect of our energetic self, which they either raise the feminine aspect of the man, or they raise the masculine aspect of the woman. So they got us both competing with each other. And it's kind of like your right hand arguing with your left hand. So you never get nothing done. You try to your left foot arguing with your right foot. You can't never get to your destination because you internally in turmoil.
You're right. Man, listen, this was a powerful bill, brother. If I don't stop now, I end up going all night. Build on this again. I'm going to look at some more of those responses. I didn't get to see them all, so we'll come back and have this build again, maybe Sunday, something like that. But man, this was a great build. Thank you so much for contributing, Joy Will. Thank you, Trey Dubs. Thank you, Open Book, Chatty Cathy, the producer, all these guys that came up and offered your thoughts. D Ham couldn't make it back, but thank you so much, guys. I encourage more of you next time to be willing to grab that link. It's just a bill. We all bring a piece of the puzzle together. We don't want to encourage criticizing each other like the guy told the woman, make sure she used her brain. She was. Let's just make sure that we are keeping this thing where people can feel comfortable giving their thoughts and not feel like they'll be ridiculed for their thoughts. There's no wrong thought. Put them out there. Let's grow from it, man. That's the main thing, that we all come away from it with some insight. Everybody has something to offer. I consider myself a student of the universe. If I can learn something from everybody, that's great. And everybody knows something I don't know. So I don't think we should walk into any situation, telling people that they're not thinking or trying to criticize their mental capacity. Because no matter where they stand, it's something they know that you can learn from them. Okay, so keep that in mind. Again, pleasure building with you, Joy Will. Let them know where to find you real quick, since you're the last person on with me.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you too, man. My social media is on Instagram is Joe Will for real. JOWIL, the number 4 and real. And I'm on a YouTube at Joe Will Music. That's JOWIL Music. Check out some music if you want some real frequency, some real positive, actual music that's gonna transmute your energy and put you in the right state of mind, or get you to realize the power within. And continue to look forward to more content from me, because I ain't got nothing but, you know, creative energy. And shout out to you, Kevin. You already followed me on Instagram.
Yes, sir.
I think I quoted you, and it was like a picture that went along with one of your quotes. No candle ever loses his flame from lighting another.
Yes, sir.
And you reposted it and you followed me, so you can get in tune with me on there as well. I would love to build with you. And I recently just ordered one of your books, so I can't wait to dive into this. Just Before You Marry That Single Mother. So
okay, yes, sir. Please let me know what you think of after you read it too, King.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate you,
guys. Yeah, and thank you, King. Guys, type in the comments if you learned anything tonight. If I said anything, if we said anything that challenged you to learn something. And again, guys, let's put our heads together and try and help shape the future world. Our next build, I want it to be on the topic of what we can do going forward, what we can do to teach our children to prevent them from falling victim to some of these harsh practices that go on in these industries. I also want to talk about things that we can do as a people to take our power back, to have control over our own destinies. This is important. Outside of everything that he said, it's a lot to gossip about. It's a lot of juicy gossip, but I'm more focused on evolution in our communities, man, and getting out of the hole. And we got to figure this out, man. These guys are talented men, all of them, if you ask me. They all gifted in their own ways. And the sheer fact that some of them had to do some of that shit just to be able to be, just the sheer fact that we know about them today is linked to them having to do something absolutely egregious to make their dreams come true or to feed their families. That is disgusting, guys. Let's figure out a way to get past that and get these people out of power. Get these people out of those positions to harm our people to such a degree. That is some plantation shit, y'all. You should never have to suck somebody's penis or do some sexual act to get a position in the field that you've been working your ass off for. That pisses me off, frankly. That pisses me off. I've always heard about it, but he's confirming a lot of this shit is true, and that sucks, man. So let's do something about that, family. Let's come up with some ideas to try and move forward to where that does not happen. And make sure you join us, Joy Will. Again, I'd love to have you back up here. I'll definitely put the promotion up or in the community board and things like that, so you guys can know when we're going to do this. But come with your thinking caps on, write down some notes, because I'd love to hear what we have to say as a community to contribute to fixing this, man. Because 10 years from now, I'd love to see it to where this is something in the past. But that shit is crazy. Okay, it's buck breaking is what they called it back in the day, and I think that's what we call it's the same thing, man. So yeah, so again, guys, be encouraged, man, and thank y'all. Be evolution, be the change that you want to see. No candle loses its flame from lighting the other. And if you were to ever find yourself in the middle of chaos, it's in that chaos that you find yourself. And thank y'all so much for joining me on this live. Peace to y'all. Peace to you, Joy Will.
Peace.